way to start the podcast. You know, sirens in the background. Someone probably died.
Yeah, okay.
But we're good. We're good.
We are back.
You know, we bring another guest in and something bad happens. Shit.
We got to stop bringing guests.
Yeah. They never come back.
Nope.
So if you don't, something bad happens to you the next few weeks, you know why.
Or you fly to another country.
Yeah.
Two of them are.
Yeah, two of them have flown the country. They're gone. They're out of here. You going anywhere soon?
Mexico.
Oh, he's not coming back.
Anyways, no, we're not asking you any questions.
That's exactly why I didn't give him a mic.
We're not asking you. BP would have just been quiet and shy. Laura would have been polite.
Yep. Maybe chuckled.
Are we allowed to use your real name?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. I don't know. There's people watching. A lot of people could be watching this.
Just don't wear it out.
Okay, fair enough. Anyways.
He set you straight.
I was gonna ask if we could use your poker star's name instead.
We're here with Black Stars 356. I don't even know what your poker star name is.
It's okay.
Neither.
369.
Loverboy 369. Shout out to Loverboy 369.
Damn. If Loverboy369 sitting across the table from me, I'm intimidated.
Yeah, I don't want to be near Loverboy 369.
Especially if he gazes into my eyes.
Don't look into my eyes. Ever.
I think that's part of his plan. See? He's smart.
I thought poker guys all wear shades.
Some of them do.
Okay.
I don't
So it's
hide-
not
I don't hide behind
it's not the thing in 2019 anymore?
It's for pussies.
Ah, fair enough. This is a we censor things on this podcast.
We really don't.
I'm playing. We ain't shit.
They also wear scarves
Ah.
to hide the neck twitch. When you're like nervous and you have like that little neck twitch, so you can't control it. It's like a little neck pulse.
Do you have a tell when you're lying or nervous?
Yeah, people can sort of tell.
Do you
the
have
neck
one?
Pulse, so they
He's
wear
not supposed to
scarves.
tell us.
Probably, I wouldn't know, right?
I know mine.
What's yours?
Like I asked to hear the question again.
So you're just guilty.
Yeah, mine's terrible. Like if somebody asks me a question,
Yo, Fabs, did you take the car?
I'll be like,
did I take the
what?
car?
Yeah, I'll be like, did I what to buy myself 3 extra seconds? That's my terrible.
Yo,
I know.
yeah.
I know it to a T.
Mine is a laugh. I laugh. I can't stop
Okay.
smiling.
Oh, you
See, yours is a straight dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
You don't lie.
You guys will know. I don't lie. I'm the perfect role model.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the ideal human being.
How about white lies?
I'm not talking to you anymore, guys.
It's 2019. They're just called lies.
It's 2019, man.
They're called lies.
Yeah.
Everybody white lies.
There's no.
I told people like 3 weeks ago to be real. I don't lie. Anyways.
Your ex-girlfriend lied still.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Anyways.
Okay. On that note,
Oh, Fabs.
this is the best guest ever.
Fabs, that's the best way to really start the
You don't
podcast.
even know it. Maybe she told you, you don't never know. You don't like to. That's the thing.
I said I don't lie.
He did.
You
Yeah.
don't even know.
Anyways. Yo, we're gonna
How are we gonna get anything done today?
we got like a 3-hour podcast, so we gotta
People lie to themselves, man. All the time.
see, like we're lying that we're gonna get out of here quick, and we're not. See,
I wanted to start early, but
last week kind of sucked.
wow.
The energy was low.
Okay.
We missed so many
We
topics.
can edit this all out.
Yeah, we can.
No, but we're gonna keep it in because it's that much more fun.
Yeah. Fabs, you gotta get the gunshots ready this week
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like you gotta keep your
it's-
hand on it
yeah.
all throughout the entire shit.
I'll take the blame.
We go through 10 minutes and there's no gunshots, I'm gonna be upset. That means something went wrong in this podcast. A lot of shit went down this week or the past. We weren't even here Monday.
Nope.
We got snowed in.
Well, you guys got snowed in.
Okay, anyways.
Who are you?
I was here.
You're like right by the lake. Shut up. You
got it the worst.
Everyone got
He
snowed
just
in.
walks everywhere, so he doesn't consider that snowed in.
You're
Snowed
right.
in.
You got snowed in, man. You got snowed in, man.
We didn't come here because we didn't want to get snowed in with Dan.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, we were wise.
That kind of hurt.
Yeah. I was already warm. Why was I going to step outside and try to challenge that?
I already shared this couch for 2 hours with Tyrrell. I don't know if I want to share it for a whole evening.
Hey, Dan and I have been together, for like 5 hours already. So
okay.
it's going to be another 3.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk. Oh, shit. It's going to be real.
You guys have.
Flies when you're having fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man,
No.
You made me watch Juve lose twice.
As you should have. You're
We'll-
lucky.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Guys, I was very upset with last week, so we kind of got to do better.
so it was a subpar performance.
Yeah, it was subpar.
Okay.
And we're better than that.
Okay, we'll pick it up.
We didn't even tell everyone that we're the best soccer/footy podcast. in
That's
the
on
world.
you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you guys were rushing me. And
At least 3 times a podcast.
yeah, now we got to let people know like 5 times this podcast so that they remember that we're the best soccer/footy. A lot of people, yo, I'm tired. Before we even start this shit, I'm tired of people telling me that I got to call it football or footy.
Did
I
we
don't
tell you
even-
that? Call
A
it
lot of
whatever you
people.
want.
Because we're the American podcast and we're catering to the American audience because we're calling it soccer instead of football.
Well, the Google Analytics tell us otherwise.
They put the food on our table.
Look, we we cater. Look, we cater to everyone. So we're gonna cater to the American audience, which is why we say soccer/footy. If you don't like soccer, we said footy. If you don't like footy, we said soccer.
My biggest argument to that is one of the most mainstream shows in United Kingdom is called Soccer AM.
Yep.
And nobody gives them any flack for that.
Yeah, and all these people all around the
Well,
world
who
that are
cares?
watching the Premier League are watching soccer AM. So y'all are trash.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Just had to get that off my chest
I
quickly.
watch Soccer AM.
It's a big
lo-
show
lot
in
of
the UK.
people.
I want to watch Soccer PM.
Soccer After Dark.
Oh, you guys are nasty. We want to watch soccer after dark.
What is going
Who
I don't even wanna-
who hosts it?
It's Ron. It's not like a morning show. Everybody's, everything's happy.
Ah,
You know?
yeah. I'm a pass. I'm a pass. You guys good?
Deal.
I'm excellent.
You guys are great.
Oh, he's excellent.
This is a great vibe.
The vibes are real today.
They are real.
Oh, listen to some big pun. Shout out to Loverman 369.
Boy,
Lover boy.
Oh, okay. He hasn't progressed into a man just yet.
never. Boy for life.
Anyhow, you guys got anything really to say before we actually start this? Before we really get into our shits?
Some big news in the soccer world.
Being?
No, just in general.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of shit to
Like
talk about.
I'm just saying, there's a lot that's
Yeah,
happened.
we got a lot of shit to talk about. And I'm happy that you guys survived the snowstorm. I'm happy we're all here, even though it's a Thursday and it should be a Monday. But we kind of got to get into that routine because Monday, Thursday, Champions League.
It's coming.
Everything's coming. Everything's coming full real. It's getting real. I told you guys by February, March, that's when I tell you guys what's going to go down because I'm not like you guys making those hot takes in October, November. We're getting straight to the point.
According to the guest, he doesn't make hot takes at all. it's a calculated hot take. What a jerk.
It's not even that hot, but we're going to call it a hot take.
The
Don't worry.
lukewarm take.
Yeah, I'm the king of the lukewarm take. But since we all survived the snowstorm, since we're all happy to be alive, since we're warm, because it's been hella cold outside.
It still is.
Well, we live in Canada, and we have to let everyone know that it actually is cold. We've been bragging that there's been no snow on the ground for the past month or so. So, with that being said, since no one else really has anything to say, the guest is making some bets.
Fuck the snow.
You don't care about the snow.
You didn't even shout anybody out.
No, because we didn't even intro the podcast.
I was going to say,
yet.
like, what's going on here? I don't even know what's going on.
I just want to warn everyone that's been listening so far that if you want to listen to all the soccer footy analysis that we're going to get to, scroll to like 25 or 30. I care about what my friends have been going through over the past week or so, so we're going to get to that first. But since you guys ain't really got nothing to say prior to that, are the mics on?
Mike's on.
Is the microphone on? Oh, I just asked that. Is the camera on?
Hopefully.
Soundboard's on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
It's working.
That's good. We got to keep it on those gunshots. Everything's ready? You
good.
guys are good?
Let's do it.
It's the InnerViews Podcast, episode number 55. 55. 5 is my lucky number. Double 5. It's your guy, Tyrrell, live and direct from Toronto. This is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world. I'm here with my great friends, Dan, Fabs, and Hugo's here. I guess we're calling you
The
Hugo
cat's
from
out of the
now
bag
on. The
now.
cat's out of the bag. Anyone who hasn't seen Hugo in a while, he's here, kicking it with us.
I feel like this is like 2004.
We're rolling back the tape.
I don't
haven't
even know
seen
what's
Hugo
going
in
on over
years.
here.
So you know if Hugo's in the building, then the vibes are right. And if the vibes are right, that means it's going to be a great podcast because this is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world. Fabs, Dan, how are you guys?
Good.
Excellent.
Would you? Because I said 2004. What would an elementary school reunion look like?
Yeah, we just said we're not doing the 10-year challenge. I don't know if I want to. I don't know.
I feel like it'd be interesting to see where everybody is now.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
No, that doesn't pique your interest at all.
No.
Not really.
I just feel like it just leads to a lot of disappointment.
Yeah.
You don't want to see if your elementary school crush is still looking good.
Nah, she's
No.
trash.
Or maybe she's mothered a child by now. Like,
Or two,
Then I really
or
don't want to hear about
or three. Did you ever learn that like the girls that are okay, let me word this properly. The girls that are the good-looking ones when they're younger, head into their teens, usually don't stay that way. It's hard to sustain.
are you saying they peaked early
Yeah.
in a nice way?
Yeah. Am I lying?
Dan's staying super quiet in this conversation. I don't know.
You know what?
No, we gotta have a real conversation here.
Honestly,
That's fair, I guess.
I've really fallen out of touch with anybody who I went to elementary school and high school with.
But it's always the ones that you kind of sleep on, that aren't really there yet, that in 5 or 10 years they're the ones. That's why I tell my little brother, I'm like, man,
Don't pick on anybody.
Be nice to everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Be nice to everyone, because you
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna look like in 5 or 10 years.
Listen, I was
Yeah.
nice to everybody.
Boy.
Forget about the looks. Who are they? Who are they gonna be?
Yeah, we maybe
That's profound.
We might need to get him a mic.
That's profound.
But what are you saying, Dan?
It's true.
Well, you think
I was
about
nice to everybody.
Oh, okay.
I was always nice to everybody in elementary school, even in high school. I was just a bit of an ass when I got to university, but
How did that? What?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Usually it's the opposite.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just,
why are you so angry?
I don't know. As I got older, I got more and more angry.
when you got a bit of freedom.
Yeah.
No, when he got older, he started to realize that he was smarter than other people. So he's like, "You idiots!"
Yeah, well, maybe that too.
I'm not kicking
I've
it.
been listening to you.
Yeah. Not kicking it with you.
Listening to myself.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what happened.
Anything exciting happened to you guys this weekend? Besides a snowstorm? Besides all that hoopla?
I got in a little winterlicious dinner before that winter storm.
Oh, yeah, how was
you were
that?
telling us about that.
Oh, yeah. Like I went to a Portuguese restaurant. I know that's not the most exciting winterlicious place to go to,
Yeah. I was
but you know that it's too fancy for you when you go in and the people that are eating there aren't Portuguese.
Oh,
yeah. But it's winterlicious. So
Like anywhere you go and
Yeah.
you're native to that culture and you're eating and nobody in there is native to that, you kind of realize that.
let me ask you a
This is a
question.
little bit classier of a place for me.
This is important. How much cutlery was on the table?
They would bring you the cutlery as you needed it.
Then it's a fancy place.
but winterlicious is like everyone's going. The reason why I question that is because like winterlicious, everyone's going there to try new things. So
We
that's-
were definitely the youngest people in there.
Yeah.
By a large landslide.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a washed thing to do.
Damn it.
That's good though.
I thought I was doing a cool
We're here
thing.
for no, it's cool, but like
No, I really don't care,
The
to be
cooler
honest.
older folks are doing it. Like the young folks aren't really. They don't know what winterlicious is.
Yeah, I enjoyed
could do
my.
a crowdsource.
I'll take that meal with a couple of good friends over some debauchery at the club later on that evening.
Hey, man.
Yep.
That's what I'll take.
I-
I
you
think
know
I'm
what?
at that point in my life.
I went to 1 year ago, 2 years ago. I went to Winterlicious at the canoe restaurant up in the
I heard that's really nice.
TD Tower, 54th floor. It's a beautiful view, and I couldn't afford it on a regular night, so we went on Winterlicious, and the food was absolutely fantastic. The problem was that the portions
I was just
were
gonna
so
say
small.
Yeah.
I ordered fish, and I thought they left half of it back with the chef.
Yo, winterlicious. Don't you get a deal?
Yeah,
That's why.
Put the design on your plate.
it was
Yes.
fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was the design was unbelievable, and the food was really good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
Because winter.
The design makes up for that
But-
little portion.
But winterlicious, you're supposed to get a little taste of it.
You know what,
So
but
that you come back and get the real full meal.
You know what? But I will say I've been to places before where I
Yeah.
felt a lot worse at the end of it. Like
Okay.
after this meal, the meal that they set out for you, I felt perfect. Like it was the perfect amount of food.
Oh,
I hope so.
Because sometimes you go to places and you're like, I pushed it. I ate too much.
Yeah.
But the way they had it mapped out is, I think
It's gonna be a good sign, though.
that it was
It's good.
it was very good. You know what
was
I mean?
was it in your neck of the woods?
No.
Not really.
So it wasn't down here. It wasn't in the city.
No, it wasn't in the city.
Yeah,
It was like midtownish.
Yeah.
And actually, it's maybe like 10 minutes from me, so it was kind of uptown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you name the place, or you don't want
Sure,
to
it
name the
was
place?
Flor de Sal. It was by Casaloma.
No, okay, Casaloma. I know where that is.
You're really intrigued into what he ate.
Dan's going.
I listen. I listen. Maybe they listen to the podcast. Okay.
They don't care what Fabs ate.
I think the waiter was happy that there was actually Portuguese-speaking people that he could speak to, and he didn't have to speak
He could
English.
vibe with.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's exactly what it was.
I almost stepped out on Saturday, but once the snow hit, that's kind of a bit of a write-off.
No.
Once the snow hits, it's hibernation mode. Try to tell people, try to preach it to them. But people are still wild, and they're still going out there, whether it be negative 30, 10 centimeters
We've
of
been
snow.
there. We've all been there.
Nope.
You never were when you were 19, 20, still making it out to the club in negative 20-degree weather in a leather jacket?
No.
Once for my birthday, but it was my birthday, so I had
Yeah, your birthday's in February.
I
so
had no obligation.
Isn't it next week?
You're just supposed to snitch on me.
Isn't it next week? Your birthday?
Yeah, nah, it's not next week. It's the week after next week. and 5 months later. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I didn't step out. Kind of kept it light. I realized that we forgot everything that happened last week. We didn't talk about young Draco. We didn't talk about the NBA deadline. We didn't talk about the U.S. government shutting down, then coming back. What else did we talk about? We didn't talk about a lot of stuff. We didn't talk about the TFC in-house fighting that we'll get to later.
Don't worry.
Okay, going forward,
We didn't talk about J. Cole dropping new music.
we got to start writing this sort of
We
stuff down.
There are a lot of more other important
Or we
stuff.
just need to really hire an intern.
Yeah, there are a lot of stuff that happened last week. And we just got to skim through it because we want to be the podcast that didn't talk about it because we want to get into the nitty gritty. And we still hit 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we ain't shit.
we really suck at that.
Yeah.
Our time management skills are not very good at all.
Yeah. Man,
We just hope that people
I
appreciate
had a
that.
lot to say about young Draco because I know Dan didn't know who he was. And
I still don't know.
yeah, it's okay. Well, now it's too late. We can't really talk about it.
Good.
And the government's back. So
Yeah, and the government's back. And a lot of stuff are happening in the NBA deadline.
They go.
the American government. Oh, we got the wrong guy in the room to start talking about the American government.
Yeah, we get into that.
I wasn't free before that. Still not free.
Today's
So they didn't go anywhere.
today's transfer deadline day. We don't really got anything to talk about.
Hey, listen. There's some huge transfers.
No, there was not.
Not huge.
Yes.
Denny Suarez
No. Okay. Yeah.
Mishi.
and who else? Oh, well, we were getting to that later. That's not
Okay,
even that big.
fine.
That's not even that big. But we're talking
It's
about
big. It's big in the city.
We're talking. Okay, city. We don't care about the city right now. We're talking about big.
There was no Alexis type of deals.
Yeah.
No.
There was no like last minute Luis Suarez, Fernando Torres swap.
No.
No big clubs really want to get into the bag. They kind of feel content, and it's funny because this week everyone lost except for Barca. So you think that perhaps
Arsenal had a great week.
Shit. Oh well, they should have lost too.
Hey, listen. Gary Cahill turned down Juve.
Yeah, he's a loser.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How are you turning down Juve at 37 years
can't,
old?
You can't
You
get.
knew he wouldn't play.
No.
Yeah, you gotta at least ride the coattails and win something.
Bonucci's out. Collini's out.
Yeah.
Panaccia got sold.
Yeah, Rugani's the only guy.
Rugani may not be that guy.
No.
So he
And it was a loan deal. It wasn't like it was like I think if I read it correctly, it's just a loan deal to the end of the year.
he's got no one with pace running at him in Italy.
They were
No.
playing
He would have been fine.
They played DeCilio at center back
Yeah.
in Coppa Italia.
Yeah, he could have won the Champions League. He could have won another trophy.
Or just at least added a Scudetto because that's almost
No, it's done.
guaranteed at this point.
Yeah, Gary
Get to that at
Gary's
some
got to
point.
pack it up.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to move from West London.
Gary's got to pack it. Hey, West London's very nice.
Maybe his kids are in school and
That's fine. So he goes. He leaves the wife and his kids.
Hey,
He's a family man, Gary
no one
alone.
wants to go to Juve after they got whooped by Atalanta. Sorry,
We're gonna get to that. Eh?
We're gonna get to that later.
All right.
London trumps Torino.
Yeah, any day. Juventini's gonna. Fabs. Remember that Fab said it.
I mean, for fashion, food, probably wrong in all those aspects
Yeah,
too. But
But that said, yeah, we missed a lot of shit. I'm hoping that we get a lot of shit right this week. We got Hugo here to make sure that we don't miss anything.
What?
Yeah, we put a lot of. You think you're just gonna sit here and look pretty? No, you gotta be engaged for the.
Make sure you guys miss everything.
You gotta be engaged for the next 3 hours. But
you're really pushing that 3-hour narrative.
yeah,
here.
I am pushing that
Wow.
3 hour narrative. We're really
Goodness.
here. We're not playing no jokes. I'd miss Monday. I love Mondays. Monday's the best day of the week, and I'm here on a Thursday.
You
Thursdays
don't
are
even
trash.
you don't even get to say that.
What do people do on Thursdays?
Isn't that university night out?
I don't want to be around the. I don't want to be around the Thirsty Thursday University.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never knew? Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm the only guy in the room that didn't go to university. Okay, no, actually, there's another one with me here.
I'm playing. Yo, Thirsty Thursdays.
You work?
The mood is
Okay,
set.
I'm not trying to bait you out
You
anymore.
guys are trying to really air me out.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, no.
Where you work at? No, I'm playing. But yeah, I hate Thursdays. Thursdays is not fun. Mondays is where it's at. Monday's the best day to really start your week off here, and whatever. We're gonna end it off on a good note. You guys got anything else that you really want to say? I know you guys don't really want to talk much. People are complaining. They don't want to hear about our lives, but I care about yours. And I
Do
want
people
you
really
guys.
complain?
Huh?
Does anybody really complain?
I wouldn't care. I don't care.
You can do.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get to the details.
Yeah, I don't care. But you guys, I'm just going to keep telling people that I don't care. You guys got nothing else to really talk about?
No.
Okay, well, with that being said, this is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world. We got to give a shout out to the YouTube followers, the YouTube subscribers, the Facebook likers and followers, those on Instagram that like my silly photos, those on Twitter that don't agree with what I say. We got to give a big shout out to the employed people, the unemployed, the homeless, those that are staying warm, those that are helping people stay warm. We got to shout out to Hugo for being here. We got to shout out to all the lovers. February is just around the corner. Shout out to those using Tinder and Bumble. Yo, our world is screwed up, by the way.
How so?
Long time ago.
I didn't know people were really on Tinder and really on Bumble socially.
Okay, in this room, have you ever had an online dating account?
Nope.
No.
I had one.
Well,
Wait, like when I was like 18, 19.
well, hold on. Let me finish my experimental story where, I dabbled. I saw what it was about. I was like, yo.
It is about that.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy, man. Like, we're screwed. No, ain't no one getting married in 10 years.
One in
Everybody's bisexual.
Yo, we got to turn your mic down.
one in three. What is it? 1 in 3 or 1 in 2 relationships start online nowadays.
Really?
That's a fact.
But there's a.
Yeah, I believe it.
But there's a big problem.
Don't
with
make
that.
me fact
There's
check
a-
that.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying there's a big problem with that. I think there's a big problem with that
Why? It's just a new way of people meeting each other.
because I don't think people that lock down that data are getting off online.
What?
Say that again.
I don't think.
I didn't understand what you just said.
I don't think those people that lock down those dates
Yeah.
and keep that long term are getting offline.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
They're still
Yeah,
engaging.
man. They're,
That
like,
account was still active a week
Oh,
ago.
Yeah,
I see what
like-
you're saying.
like-
Oh, okay.
like you could really just be out here.
Yeah, see, but I think that's the nature of social media nowadays. We're plugged in. I was talking about the elementary school reunion. Well, who's to say that somebody from elementary school doesn't hit me up on Facebook or hit me up on Instagram? It's the same. It's the equivalent. It's the same thing.
That's true.
Because we're all connected all the time. Why do you think older people who just are getting on Facebook nowadays, who are my parents' age in their 50s, 60s, 70s, are getting divorces at these ages? Because now they're reconnecting with people that they would have never reconnected with.
Oh, I'm not going down that. I'm not going down that route.
I'm telling you, it's a sick world, y'all.
It's wild,
Yeah.
man. People are throwing away 20, 30, 40, 50 years of relationships over a poke on Facebook.
Yo, you're chill.
Wow.
But it's true. It's
Yeah.
like
You know what it is? It's the men. It's the men.
Not-
dude. The guys get old
yeah.
and they just
But
lose it, man.
Men always think they can go fetch something younger and better, and I think that's like a male
It's
trait.
True, man. It's very true.
I don't know, man. It's
Happened to my dad.
it's one of those. It's crazy out there.
No, but both sides, men, women.
It's crazy. It's like
it happens.
it's like me. It's like me and so and so can get into an argument, and then like in a day,
Yeah.
the next hour, just like yo, let me turn that back on.
Everything's derailed.
Just that money as well, right? You got money.
there's-
women,
there's-
young women.
there's-
They like the money.
I'm-
Older guys have the money.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. So that's why I had to give them a shout out. Y'all who are in that, y'all
Stay safe.
Yeah,
Stay safe in those E streets.
Keep fighting the good fight in the E streets. I had to salute all of y'all because I didn't know it was that crazy out
Shout out to the committed monogamous
Yeah,
people
shout out-
in relationships.
Exploited.
there. Shout out to those in love. Shout out to
You know,
every-
I don't think the person in love gets enough credit.
They're in love.
Are you just saying that you're biased?
No,
Yeah, exactly.
You're biased.
no, I really don't think that the faithful. Okay, maybe not faithful, but
The faithful. I was wearing the shirt last week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like that guy doesn't. That's why they had to go and make a shirt because he was tired of not getting enough credit.
No, you're right. We got to shout out all the faithful people out there. Shout out to all the firefighters. Shout out to everyone that was working hard. The snow plowers, the salters. We got to give them a shout out. They're working hard.
Overtime.
Yeah. Shout out to the Clip Draw gang. Shout out to Team Grizzy. Shout out to the Grizz gang. Shout out to Fabs' De Gea clan. Shout out to, I don't know. You don't have a clan yet, Dan.
Nope.
Don't worry. We're going to work on that. We got people for you. Shout out to all the new soccer podcasts. Shout out to the soccer podcasts out there because y'all are doing really good. But it's time for organic, unfiltered soccer analysis to really kick back into gear. And we got to let people know what it really is. So with that being said, if no one else has anything to say, we got a lot of shit to talk about. I say that every week, but we really got a lot of shit to talk about. So with that being said, Fabs, you know what time it is. It's the InnerViews Podcast, episode number 55. We got a lot of shit to really get into. We got 3 hours to kill. So,
You got to stop that right now.
What can you do in 3 hours, guys?
It's like 2 hours and a half right now.
What can you guys do in 3 hours?
Well,
Watch
a lot.
football.
Yeah.
I can watch two full matches.
Yeah, well, we're gonna break down everything that happened since last Tuesday when we dropped the last podcast and get into it. What is the shit that matters this week? What do you guys want to talk about? What's the big talking point?
should we start where we always start? In England?
We could start wherever. We watched everything, practically.
For the most part, I would say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go? You want to go with England?
Let's start with
Well,
England.
yo, everyone kind of lost.
It's funny because we said that this
week,
Monday we said we
weren't
weren't
gonna
going to
talk
start
about
with Prem
England.
because it was FA Cup all weekend.
And then the snow came.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah. So where are we going with?
Oh, no, we'll start with you in England. EPL.
you said that, but there are a lot of things that happen in England, Dan.
Huge upset, man. Huge upset.
There you go.
There were a lot of huge. You guys are terrible this week.
City. We'll go with City.
Maybe then the Castle game.
Okay, yeah.
So they want to talk about the race for first place.
Yeah.
I guess.
Still on.
We want to talk.
Even if Liverpool, you turn that phone down. even if Liverpool lost,
Sorry, that's my agent.
even if Liverpool won, the race was still gonna be on. So I was hoping they won, so I could come here and tell y'all that the race is still on.
It would have been a lot more difficult, but I wouldn't have not given up on City yet.
Yeah, I saw your tweets. I tried to retweet it so you could get smoke.
Nobody wants any of it.
Fabs is like, yo, City got to win out to ensure that they're going to win the title.
I think they do.
Not anymore.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, if you
Liverpool still have to play Spurs, still have to play United, still have to play Chelsea, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
theoretically.
I don't care. They can lose to all three of those sides.
I don't need you to hit me with the numbers because they just tied to Burnley. At home. It wasn't like they went there. They tied at home.
Leicester.
Oh, Leicester, yeah.
Leicester.
Who cares?
They tied.
Yeah, they tied.
Yeah.
The YouTube folks would be like, nah, you were wrong. You were wrong.
At minute 17 and a half.
Yeah.
They tied
They
to
love
Burnley.
that. They really do love that.
Your channel's trash. Continue. Yeah, they tied to Leicester at home.
Which I thought was funny because when everybody was teeing up Liverpool's next bunch of fixtures and how difficult they were going to be, nobody had Leicester in that mix.
Yeah, that's why you can't come to me and tell me that, oh, well, look who they play next. It don't matter. I told you, when February and March come, everything changes because people got shit to fight for. And everyone went quiet after that.
I was waiting for Dan's rebuttal because I'm with you.
No, I think it was a mistake to underappreciate Leicester. I wasn't one of those guys that said Leicester was not going to be tough. Leicester's one of the hard teams to play against. Their standings may not represent that, but they're not a bad team.
You sure about that?
Yeah, they're not. They're not. They're not a team. They're not a pushover team.
They have their weeks.
Yeah, but they should be respected. That's a decent side. And you know what? Watching that game, Leicester gave as good as they got, and it wasn't wrong the result. Leicester deserved to take some points away from Anfield, and they did a good job doing so.
But was it more of Leicester getting a full result, earning it, or was it Liverpool just not good enough?
I think if you say Liverpool weren't good enough, I think that you discredit a little bit of Leicester. I think Leicester deserved what they got. I think it's more that narrative than Liverpool not getting the result, because Liverpool didn't generate a lot of chances.
That's my point. It could be both. It could be Leicester did play well, but Liverpool just weren't good. They even shoveled. you see what they did?
Yeah, they didn't shovel the other half.
They didn't shovel the other half and shoveled Leicester's half, so they wouldn't slide in the box.
By all means, they tried. They really did try everything.
They pulled out all the stops.
That's home field advantage.
That's
Anfield. Isn't that what you guys were saying? Oh, that's Anfield.
I'm on the other side. I think Liverpool didn't show up. I think Liverpool got punched in their mouth with that goal before halftime, and it hasn't happened all year. All year, that's been them. All year, they're the ones that have been scoring before half, getting a lucky bounce.
A nice little favorable call in the box.
The keeper makes a mistake, like Speroni. Like, it's been happening. Everything's gone their way this season. You cannot argue against the fact that things have gradually gone their way.
Listen, Alisson tried as hard as he could to give him some goals.
Hey, that's fine. That's what he's paid for. Yeah. He's paid to stop the ball, right? But they got punched in their mouth for the first time in the season, and there was no response.
Mm-hmm. And that is where we really get to see how a genuine title contender really rises to the occasion. I'm not going to say City has done any much better than they have, but that was a defining moment there where they weren't really playing well. They got the fortunate goal, because I don't think Mane's goal was really well crafted. It kind of went their way. It wasn't a well-generated move. They scored. They didn't play well for the entire half, made a mistake, and they got punished for it. And then in the second half, they couldn't really react to Leicester just kind of shifting the system a bit. Mm-hmm. And they got killed down the left-hand side. You're right. Leicester were full value, but I don't think Liverpool were they weren't that good. And they haven't been that good this season. Fabs has been trying to be like, yo, the dip is coming, the slip is coming. But they've been able to get results, and we give them credit. But now, when it doesn't work out for them, we have every right to just be here and be like, yeah, they weren't that great. And I don't want to discredit Leicester there, but it's just they weren't. And I think that most sides at home should see off that great sides should see off that Leicester side. And I think they'll look at that and be like, wow, yeah, we didn't show up.
But I think they got away, to a certain extent, you're right, but to a certain extent, with the City result, they got away with not picking up the maximum points.
But even more so, that was a reason to kill City.
This is huge drop points, man. City drop points versus Newcastle, man. You have to go into this game thinking, there's no way we can drop 3 points.
100%.
Absolutely no way.
That's what I said in the group chat.
And that was the first time where it could be like, okay, they play second. They play second. They know what's ahead of them. They could really make a mark here. It's not like they played first and and City had to respond.
No, that's what Dan's been saying. You've been saying the pressure's been on City. Always playing first. It was opposite.
It was Liverpool's chance to respond. And now what happens this week? Is that City play first. And then Liverpool play on the Monday. And when they play on that Monday, if I'm gonna go with Dan with the mathematics, it's gonna be 1 point or 2 points.
Yeah, it'll be 2.
If they win, it'll be 2 points. And then now they have to respond.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
And City play twice, if I'm not mistaken. They play away to Arsenal and they play they play at home to Arsenal and then Everton away.
But that's not all before.
No, that's not before. Plays. That's not before. Liverpool play on Monday.
But
he's saying that they play the Saturday and they probably play midweek.
Yeah, they do. Okay. I think they play the Tuesday or the Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
We're totally fine with that. But you're right. Like Leicester, the weird thing about Leicester is that when they play the bigger sides, they're a much better team when they sit off a bit deeper. But as we saw against Wolves, when they're able to push that line a bit higher, then that's when things get a bit shambolic. And they really struggle.
I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of those mid-table teams. It's because when you set out to play a big side, you know how you're going to play defensive. You're not running at a Liverpool. You're not running at a City. That's not going to be your MO. That's not how your coach is going to set you up, because you're getting set up for a disaster. Mm-hmm. So when they play these small sides and now you're forced to push ahead, your lines are getting broken. Your midfielders are all over the place because now one guy's up the field, the other guy's not tracking each other. Like, it becomes an issue. But Leicester, no, I agree with you guys too. Obviously, that Leicester were full value for getting a point here. That obviously can't be taken away. Going away from home to Liverpool in that environment, getting a point is massive. We've seen everybody go there and not be able to do that. But as the title contender, Liverpool, there's no question that it's 3 points or nothing. You can't give City the psychological advantage of giving them a glimmer of hope. You have to kill them. Because if you kill them in that moment, that's 7 points. You have 2 games. It would have been 7 because it was at 4.
Okay.
Because they picked up the 1, right? But you would have given yourself 2 games that you could have slipped and still had an advantage. Now it's 5 points. You're still right there.
But it's still 2 games slip.
But like Tyrrell's saying, if they go and somehow, if City goes and beats Arsenal at the weekend, and then West Ham somehow pulls a result, West Ham's at home. It's not a crazy thing to think that West Ham could pull a result.
No.
And then now you're at 2, and
actually,
we're still in February.
Right.
There's still 3 months to go, right?
I'm telling that Liverpool side. I've been saying it for the past few weeks. I'm worried about the gas levels on that team. I'm worried about the front 3 because Salah didn't play good this week. Mane was probably the most influential. Firmino was knackered. I know he's knackered. Mm-hmm. You don't got to tell me.
He's not had that bounce back season.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He looks very tired, and they run off that front 3.
Yeah.
Because where else are the goals coming from?
Yep.
Sorry, James. Well, he wasn't even playing.
No.
Sorry, Jordan at right back.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gigi, Wijnaldum. Who else was there?
Keita,
who hasn't really had the greatest season.
Yeah.
Like, they need that front 3 going, and I don't know how they're going to be able to do this. And yes, they do have a lot of off days. This was coming off like an 8-day stretch where they went to Dubai, soaked up some sun.
Yep.
So they really got to figure things out because I'm watching them play. They have all this possession. I don't know where they're really going with it. I don't know what they're trying to do with the ball. And that's my biggest thing with them is that they've been able to squeak by a lot of games this season based off lucky bounces, based off some individual brilliance. You know, obviously, I'm not going to discredit them. There have been some nice, well-worked moves, but majority of it hasn't really played out to what I don't know what Klopp is trying to get out of them when they do dominate possession.
They've yet to be dominant for an extended 2, 3, 4 week period.
It just kind of squeaks out. And I think that was one of the problems they had in the Champions League as well.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you.
I applaud getting results, but the same way I kind of put a little bit of pressure on Juventus as to put a good string of results together. I think we've yet to really see that with Liverpool.
Oh, someone just DM'd me said that we got to get Juve out of here. So we're going to get to that later. I can't disclose that person's name. But big result for Leicester. Claude, obviously, it's been an interesting season, ups and downs.
He's under a little bit of pressure there.
Yeah, which is weird because like they get a result here. They beat City this season. They went to Chelsea and they beat them. But then, you know, they go to Wolves and they drop bombs.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a bit too inconsistent. But I don't know what they expect. I still don't think their team is that great. They're good enough to finish in the top half, but like they're not that good.
I think they fail to have secondary scoring on a consistent basis. Because Gray isn't giving you enough.
Yeah, Nacho hasn't worked out.
Madison is bright in certain spots. I think he could be a really great player, but sometimes he's playing out out wide. He's not playing central.
You're not getting much from Ndidi and Mendy.
No, like they're nice compact players, but they're not goal scoring options. You can't go off the back of Vardy.
Yeah. No, not
at
season
this
point not season after season, and not at this point in his career either.
Exactly, right? He puts in a hell of a shift. But boy, does he need a break every now and then. Yeah. Maybe somebody else pick up the slack.
Yeah.
So they just need more, but who's going to give him that?
Let's go to Rafa quickly.
That's a great result by Rafa. Let's start off by giving that guy some credit because he's done a lot with not much.
Newcastle's my squad, so
there you go.
we don't really need. I don't need to give them credit. I told Fabs before that game started that because we're just trying to decide which video we're gonna do for that day, and I told Fabs, it's like Newcastle might be the game because I think they could actually frustrate City here, and look what they end up doing.
Yeah,
to me, the surprise was City's performance in general. Because it was very, very underwhelming, misplaced passes. It wasn't in sync. and they still created enough chances to possibly win the game, but which is the total opposite of what Liverpool did.
Yep.
But they weren't that great, and the goals that they conceded are just pathetic. Like they should not lose, even given how bad they played. They shouldn't lose that game, and they did lose it. And I think that has been an issue with them this season, where you could count. They lost to Palace, they lost to Newcastle now, they lost to Leicester. But when we look at the grand scheme of things and we look at their season last year, we kind of highlight that they did hit 100 points. Mm-hmm. But we don't look at the countless games where they won it in the 90th minute. I remember Bournemouth where Sterling won at like the last kick. Like they won a lot
last day of the year.
They won a lot of the last day of the year. They won a lot of games in the dying seconds. They went to Palace last season and they got lucky because they were tied 0-0. That Buddy, I think it was
Milivojevic?
Yeah, Milivojevic missed a penalty in the 90th minute. Mm-hmm. So City were able to really squeak by, and they grinded out a lot of games last season, and we're kind of not putting that into perspective. And I don't know if people expected them to eclipse what they did last season, but there was going to be a drop-off. And I feel like the only reason why besides this performance was awful, and we should give them all the stick that they deserve. But I feel like a lot of people are kind of being harsh on them because they've dropped off a bit, and Liverpool is on course for a historical season. Will they achieve it? Who knows? But I think that's the difference here, because they're still so much better than United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and even Spurs, given the fact that Spurs are just behind them. Like
They're only 2 points back.
Yeah, that don't matter.
That matters.
That don't matter.
I don't think that gap will be 2 points come the end of the season.
That don't matter.
No, I don't think it will be either.
No. So it don't matter.
Is this?
It doesn't matter.
I want it to matter, but it doesn't matter.
Is this a good performance by Rafa to getting his tactics right, or is this a poor performance by City?
It's on City too for me.
City.
That's a hard question.
I know, because this is your team. This is Newcastle. That's why I'm asking you.
I don't know if you got the tactics right, because they still could have lost that game by a few goals.
Yep.
But I will give them credit for hanging in there. I feel like we don't give these smaller teams the credit for sticking into games. It's the mental toughness, the work rate, the ability to keep going even when David Silva can't score in the 6-yard box and Raheem Sterling can't tap Sane's cross in. They keep going.
Oh, especially because Newcastle got scored on early.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Fastest goal this year in the Premier League.
Sometimes it's the best thing that could happen, because the team
get
that
punched
does
in the
score
face early?
the team that does score early tends to drop off a bit.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's what happened?
I just think City weren't that good. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know if they really played to a level where they could drop off.
Do you put the blame on Fernandinho for that PK, or do you put the blame on Danilo for not a very intelligent back pass?
Well, if it was any other team, I'd probably put the blame on Danilo. But that I expect that pass to go to Fernandinho, but I don't expect Fernandinho to really
turn into pressure.
Yeah.
Over the course of a 90-minute game, they make that pass maybe 10 to 15 times.
Yeah.
That's a mistake that just happens. It goes with the game. It could be tired legs. It's a lapse. They lapsed throughout that entire game, so it wasn't really surprising. Just the timing was really off, and
it's different. It's different from the Phil Jones one, just because of the way that's how that team builds out the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
United don't build out the back like that.
The Phil Jones one was just a panic.
Yeah. It's like, here, you take it.
Phil Jones like, I don't want the ball.
No,
Let me make it to Andreas because he's young.
Let me make it your problem now.
You take the responsibility.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah. But Fernandinho, he saw the marker on his right.
And
so
turns.
you kind of got to give it to Ederson there. I don't know if Ederson, I can't see the clip, so I don't know if Ederson did open up his body to receive that pass after. But yeah, you kind of got to put a lot of the blame, not all of it, on Fernandinho.
I agree.
To be honest. And the goal was just a switch off, right? But City...
But you could tell they weren't clicking all game. Even you could see it in Pep's mannerisms.
Yes.
He was frustrated from 10 minutes all the way to the end of the game. And even his post-match, he knew that the team was just not playing at its best. And that's the difference I think that we didn't see so much last season, is that they almost always seem to be clicking and on, and the interplay and breaking behind the line. I think that's what Newcastle did brilliantly. They didn't give City no space to break in behind.
Yeah.
Everything was pushing them out wide.
Yeah.
They had 2-3 men to every wide player.
Yeah.
They didn't get nothing from the fullbacks.
Yeah.
Laporte isn't going to give you that.
No.
And now I have to start asking questions about Mendy. What's the point of letting him did he play 90 minutes against Burton?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he
No,
played
I don't
90.
think he played. I think he played about 75.
Why
and
is he playing 70
and
minutes
his knee
against
swelled up.
Burton and now his knee swollen and he's not playing in the Premier League?
They got to look at that situation next year, and they have to really decide what they're going to do with him.
Because he's fantastic.
Because
when he plays.
but he is, as much as people don't want to say it, he is essential to what they want to do.
Yeah.
He is one of their key players, and that was the reason why I was brought in. They are a completely different side when Benjamin Mendy's there.
Yep.
And we haven't seen enough of him throughout the course of his time at Manchester City. And they really got to reevaluate that because they need to bring someone else in who can play 60 games, 50 games a season. I'm not even saying 60, 50, because...
Throughout all competitions, you're saying?
Yeah,
Well, and the problem is there's not a single suitable replacement.
exactly.
It's not like Chelsea who have. Sorry?
Cancelo from Juve.
I don't think they'll have to pay top dollar
Yeah.
to attract him now, and I don't think he's willing to do that.
But we're just talking within the squad.
But even at
Okay.
like
but he-
Fabian Delph, Danilo.
No.
Zinchenko, there's not
Zinchenko,
one
no.
natural fullback there that can play that side.
Mendy gives them something totally different. And
And even Kyle, we haven't seen. Kyle's been very lackluster this year.
Kyle's had a pretty disappointing season.
He was not supporting Raheem at all
No.
in anything.
It's I don't know if it's because of the World Cup, but he hasn't been the same since the World Cup. And like I said, we don't put that into perspective for a lot of players where, they are human beings. They do need rest. And a dip is expected, but Kyle's just been gone on for too long. Someone's got to call it out at some point.
Yeah.
So that's been a big problem for them.
When you're not getting anything from your fullbacks in the system that Pep plays, where every team he's gone to, he's always had strong fullbacks and fullbacks that can get up and down the pitch.
Yeah.
That's like you're playing with a man down almost from the jump.
But this has been the thing here is that, like, when you look at the way City are constructed, the fullbacks are key. But I'm not even looking at them. I'm looking at the midfield too. I'm looking at the midfield. I feel like they haven't, in that game specifically, they weren't that great.
I don't think David hasn't been as good.
No, he hasn't. I think you can look. I think you can start right there because I think he's, and I said this before. I think he's a very influential player for that City team. I think he's underappreciated as well, and he hasn't had his normal steady year. You can look at De Bruyne. He's been injured.
Underappreciated by who?
By everybody,
The masses,
the masses.
Okay.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Not to the Premier League cult.
No, Silva's pretty.
They love David Silva.
I
In
feel
the
like
in the
within,
Prem.
I think within City they do. But
Yeah, I don't think
in terms
outside.
of world football, does David Silva really get recognition for the longevity that the career that he's had?
Not the average.
That's what
That's
I
what
think.
I'm
That's what
saying.
Dan's trying to allude to. Is the average fan wouldn't pick out David Silva
No, for
as a
that-
top Premier League player.
Quite.
Oh, the Prem boys do though. The Prem boys do. All the announcers do. They put David Silva. But whatever, continue.
I think De Bruyne has had a injury-plagued season up to this point. He hasn't really got his season started, and I think that's hurt City as well. And Fernandinho hasn't been great up to his normal standards. So you take those three, just those three. Those are three key important players for City in the midfield, and they haven't been up to their standards. Let's say.
He did play great against Liverpool.
Who?
Fernandinho.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he plays.
It
He
just
hasn't had
been
his normal
consistent-
season.
consistent enough. I think the rotation doesn't help as well because we often do applaud City for being able to plug players in, and everybody seemed to continue the system very coherently and like it works. But I think it just isn't there. Like both Silvas have been in and out of the lineup.
Yes.
KDB's been in and out of the lineup. There's been a lot of personnel changes,
De Bruyne was the solution last year.
and he hasn't.
Problem.
And he hasn't been there for 80% of the season.
He's,
No,
he's
that's
just
to my
getting
point.
back to full fitness.
You're talking
now.
about the you could argue the best player in the Premier last season.
Yes.
Who is Liverpool this season without Salah? Who is anybody without potentially their best player, right? It shifts things. That's just a natural trait.
Yes.
Right?
A lot of people were, before Liverpool had dropped points, well, the title race is over. I was telling Dan that, like, they were killing Pep. If he doesn't win this season, it's a failure because all this money's brought in, and then they didn't win the first season. The second season they won, and now this season where they are. But I don't think they're having, as much as we like to talk about the issues that they have with personnel, I think they're fine given what they've achieved thus far. And I mean, when you look at Manchester City and what Pep has brought in, a lot of these guys are young players that have not hit their peak. And that's why I don't compare them to, I think this is his worst side in comparison to Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Because at Barcelona, the Messi factor is huge. And Xavi and Iniesta were coming into their own, and he brought in Busquets. But there was something there. They just had to fine-tune and implement his own style to it. The Bayern Munich team, they were treble winners. And they had players that were in their peak. And he obviously made them better. But what they were when he got there, they're great. But a lot of these City players, Raheem hasn't reached his peak. Sané hasn't reached his peak. Bernardo hasn't reached his peak. Kevin De Bruyne hasn't reached his peak. Jesus. Look at the back line. None of those Laporte, Stones,
Ederson,
none of those players have yet to
goalie.
reach their peak. And I look at this Manchester City side, and any City side that has won the league over the past decade or so, the next season, the drop-off has been ridiculous, not even in the title race. And this City side right now, given all the problems that we just listed, sit 5 points behind the Liverpool side that is hitting a peak that they cannot replicate next season. This is the best that they could get. Don't tell me that they could do better than what they're doing now. Performance-wise, sure, but results-wise, I don't think they could do what they're doing again another season because it's so demanding.
No, this is
They've lost one game.
Yeah. And that's my point, is that given everything that we've just said about the City side, all the issues they've had trying to match what they did last season, they still only sit 5 points behind.
This is, and to your point, this is Liverpool's year. And I know this has been said in the past, but this is truly Liverpool's year to do something. If they don't win it this year, to your point, I don't see their drop-off next year will be like that City drop-off that you've talked about in the past. Whereas City is primed and ready to make a title run for the next 2, 3, 4 years, you could argue. Really, their only player they may lose, and sometime soon, may be Aguero. He's kind of their older player on that roster.
And those guys will go and tell you, Aguero, Silva, company, this is a totally different beast. This is totally different. Aguero got to go too.
He will go.
How much does the modern day fan care about longevity of their sides?
Well, when we get to Chelsea, we're going to talk about that because I'm tired of that fan base and everything that has to go with that club. So we're going to kill that. We're going to kill them in a second.
In general?
Not too many because they're too short-sighted. But
like Liverpool fans don't care about next year right now.
No.
They could care less that City are primed for the next 5 years. Liverpool wants something now. Obviously that comes into the fact that they haven't won anything in so long.
Well,
so that plays a role.
Yeah.
But I think the modern day fan doesn't care.
Players too.
They do,
Nice young
but
players.
but the base
is old.
But the base.
A little,
long in the tooth.
Henderson, right?
I don't trust them too much, but overall, like.
So hold on, let me answer Fab's question. I think you almost answered your own question. I think it matters how well your club is doing, because I think if you are a City, we'll look at City. They've won so much in the last, let's say, 2 to 3 years, even 4. You can look down the road. But if you're a Liverpool, if you're a Spurs, if you're a Arsenal, if you're a Chelsea that haven't won that much or haven't won something big, I think you can't look down the road. I think you want to win now. You want to win as quickly as possible, and that's the situation Liverpool find themselves in. They don't care about next year. This is their year.
But I think that applies to everyone though. everyone's short-sighted. What happens this week won't matter next week if something else happens. So that's just the nature of the game. That's just nature of society. That's just how it works. As sad as it's to say, if City could lose this week, but next week they kill someone 5-0, then City are back. Nothing really happened, right?
Orders restored.
So that's why. That's the biggest problem. I get what Dan's saying, although that doesn't apply to Chelsea because they've won more than City over the past.
I was gonna say City have only
5-6
really
years.
won.
Yeah. But the thing is, they know what they're building, and I feel like Liverpool kind of think they know what they're building, but I don't know if Klopp. I've never trusted Klopp long term. I feel like when his sides hit their peak, that peak is there, and then it kind of just spirals from there. Because
Dortmund?
We saw that with Dortmund.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw that with Dortmund. They had those 2 years when Bayern were slowly rebuilding, and then after that, they couldn't catch up until now. But look how long that took. But so I get both sides, but it's a tough game to play.
He also lost a lot of pieces on that Dortmund squad.
Yeah, they did get plucked, but that could also apply here with Liverpool.
Yeah.
Whatever pieces are there to take, which
Salah.
there's probably only one because I don't know if anyone. We've already talked about this. I don't know if anyone else is really going
No, it's just
anywhere.
Salah. Maybe Van Dijk.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
He's kind of re-added to his.
He doesn't seem like
to his stock.
He doesn't seem like a player who wants to go
He
to
doesn't seem like
Barcelona or
a
Real
con-
Madrid.
No.
or-
But I'm saying if people
he's not going to go anywhere else in the Prem.
right. But if people
So
are
that
looking
only leaves Barcelona or Real Madrid to really take another step.
right, but I'm saying if there's anybody on that, if teams are looking at that Liverpool team to take players away, it's those two that are first on the list. It's either Salah or Van Dijk. That's your top. That's your top two.
I think
teams.
somebody like Robertson would go before Van Dijk. Just
Yeah.
because he's a player with a longer longevity to the rest of his career.
Right.
Well, I'm tired of talking about Liverpool.
Want to talk about that dumpster fire Chelsea?
Are we done with City?
Sure.
Yep.
City lost. I don't know who they play next week, but
play Arsenal.
They play Arsenal.
No, they play Everton first. No.
No, they play Arsenal first, then Everton.
On Sunday.
Okay, I don't care. They better not lose that one, or then we got some real.
Then we're gonna be
problems to
back
talk
here
about.
Monday.
Yeah, we're gonna be back on
We really
Monday.
gotta kill Pep. Pep, you gotta pass this week. We're killing you next week if you lose. Well, we're talking about Chelsea next.
Yeah.
Your favorite topic.
Go ahead.
Yo, this is my favorite topic.
Mike is open to you.
This is my favorite topic, and the reason why it's my favorite topic is because
They don't like you.
well, they're losers. The biggest thing here is that Chelsea won on Thursday. We didn't get to do a podcast on Monday, but everything was fine when they beat Spurs, advanced the Carabao Cup, won in penalty shootouts. Sarri brought us to a cup final.
Because of goal differential.
So,
No.
Because of the
No.
two-leg fixture.
No, they didn't.
They
No.
changed the rules.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but that's not. They deserved over 2 legs. If we take out that away goal rule, they were the better side over 2 legs.
But they lose if you take away that.
Yeah. Yeah. But they took it out. So I can't.
What do you think of that?
They took.
How do you feel about that rule they changed?
I didn't really care that. Like, I didn't care that it was there, and I don't really care if they took it out.
How about in Champions League? Would you care if they did that?
If they took it out,
Yeah.
not really.
What?
I don't like the away goal rule.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think
it's-
it makes a difference.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't like that
The
rule.
reason
don't
I
care.
think it's
Home games make a huge
I,
difference.
I think it's beneficial that they do grant the team that is away that advantage if they do score the more goals. But at the end of the day, I feel like in a 2-legged tie, like you got to beat the other side. But I get your point.
Listen, that away goals rule was implemented so many years ago for so many different reasons than it applies to today. Take that out.
I just think there's an advantage for the home team. So
Yeah, but you-
should count as a little bit.
Sure,
but
but
you're also the home team on the second leg or the first leg.
No,
You're both the home team
Yes.
at one
So you
point.
both have the same.
no,
You
you don't.
both have the same advantage
No, you
at
don't.
some point
No,
in
you
the
don't.
tie.
No, you
Someone
don't.
took the advantage and actually scored an away goal, which is a lot harder to do.
No, you don't.
But
have,
then you have your chance to reply.
no,
Yeah,
but
if you don't score an away goal,
that's
Rightfully so.
but that's not true because
How not?
Because the home
Yo,
team.
math.
No, hold on.
you're with me, Fab. You're on my side.
No,
I think the away goal is important. I think it's a
No,
lot
I don't
more
care. I don't care for it. The away goal, obviously, in the mathematics term, is important in this case. but you get the same opportunity that I get.
But that's not true.
How is it not true?
Because if you are the home team in the second game,
In the second leg,
if
changes
it goes
everything.
into extra time, the away team also has the extra time with the away goal, so it's not equal.
And it changes the dynamic.
So
For the
it's not
second leg.
equal.
For those
Changes
30
the
minutes.
dynamic.
So it's not equal. I'm just what I'm saying.
It can never be equal.
Hey, you're trash if you let it get to that point anyway.
Well, I'm just saying.
Like, yo, I don't know why you gotta really try to nitpick this to the. Yeah,
Go ahead,
like,
back to
I don't
Chelsea.
care.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yo, Chelsea. Yeah, get out of here. Okay, Chelsea win that game. Everything's fine. Order restored. They're going to a cup final. They play the FA Cup. They rest players. They don't play that well. They get past Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday. So now they go to Bournemouth. And they lose to Bournemouth. They get annihilated.
Smoked.
But who are we putting the blame on? Because
Sorry.
there are two guys that are getting the blame.
Sorry. Is one.
One is Sarri, and who's the other one?
Eden.
No. Surprisingly not.
Oh, I thought you said who should get the blame.
No, who is getting the blame?
Oh, I don't know who the second one is, but I know Sorry is the first.
Sarri's getting number one, and Jorginho's the second person getting the blame.
Oh.
And I got a big problem with that. And I don't really like Jorginho that much. I still think he's a loser for not going to Manchester City.
You're about to cape for him?
Yeah. I really do think he's still a loser for not going to Manchester City. That was his position, and he blew it, and he decided to go with Sarri, and it's not working out. My problem here is that I can't kill Sarri for... You could kill Sarri for the setup, but I don't think the setup was even that bad. Yes, they did get blitzed on the counter, and that is a risk that they do take when they push the fullbacks forward and when Kovacic and Conte leave Jorginho alone. But a lot of those transitions stemmed from individual mistakes. Loose passes, Hazard not knowing that Brooks is behind him and he gets pinched. Like
David Luiz got smoked on that second goal.
David Luiz
He cannot defend 1v1.
David Luiz, whatever he did for the second goal, the first goal, all three of them switched off. Kovacic doesn't track.
They're not very good at defending cutbacks.
No. But they're not very good defensively. Emerson's not a great defender. No. Marcus Alonso, everyone wants to kill him, so we're going to kill him now. Azpilicueta, we've already said that he's not a natural right back anymore. Rudiger and Luiz, great with the ball. Defensively, we know they're not the greatest defensive pairing. They're not going to win you a Premier League title. Then you got a problem with the midfield. Because like at Napoli, teams are going to try and shut down Jorginho. But just because they shut down Jorginho doesn't mean that he is the problem. I thought he played well in the first half. I thought he did decently well. I thought he won possession. I thought he played the passes. Sarri wants teams to come to him so that he could play through the pressure.
And that's what he did at Napoli.
They attract the pressure. They play triangles around him. Okay? So I get where he's going with that. But if who the hell did Sarri bring in this summer? Besides Jorginho?
Nobody.
Who the hell did he bring in?
Nobody.
So you got the same bums that finished 5th last year that didn't want to listen to whatever Conte said. They finished 5th. And you want to implement a new style with a coach that came in 6 months ago. And you think that something is going to change because they brought in Jorginho. He didn't bring in Jorginho to be the savior. He brought in Jorginho as the first phase to what he wants to implement. And if the board was competent, they would have brought in more players with him to ensure that this transition sped up. But they didn't do that. So I don't give a damn if they brought in Jorginho and it's not working. Have some patience. They don't want to have patience. They think everything's going to come to them. They're talking about pragmatism. Well, Conte was losing in the first 5 games. He lost to Arsenal and Liverpool. Then he switched things, and we won the league. But what happened to Conte the next season? Done. Gone. Bye. They brought in Scolari, didn't work in. They brought in Hiddink. Okay, Hiddink fixed things. What happened the next season? What happened the next season? They brought in Ancelotti. He won the league. The thing is, when Chelsea were constantly switching managers in that phase, they had Drogba, they had Ballack, they had Lampard, they had Essien, they had Terry. At one point, they had Max Allegri. Those are guys that could win you games on their own. Ashley Cole. Those are guys that could win you games. Anelka. Those are guys that could win you games on their own. I can't count on Eden to win me a game. I can't count on Gonzalo, who just came to win me a game. Pedro, Willian. Kovacic. Kovacic hasn't been good since people thought he was going to be great at Inter.
Mm-hmm. People are still really trying to push him.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry, buddy. This morning I learned that he's a defensive ball carrier. What the hell is a defensive ball carrier? Yo, you new age soccer nerds need to cut this shit out.
Somebody tried to tell me he was the best Chelsea midfielder this season.
Really?
Is that the same guy?
It's the same dude. Oh, well, you don't know anything about Kovacic because he's a defensive ball carrier. What the hell is
Like
it?
a Busquets with his ball stuck to his foot.
Yo, Kovacic makes y'all need to really sit down and watch him play for 90 minutes and really figure out what the hell he's supposed to do. I know, I told you last week or a few weeks ago, I know why he doesn't start over Brozovic, Modric, or Rakitic in that Croatian side.
He's not good enough.
Because he's not good enough.
Let's be honest.
Can't dribble past the defender.
Sorry.
Can't link play.
No. He ain't scoring
He
goals.
definitely doesn't carry the ball.
He ain't creating them. Yo, he carries it and then he runs into traffic. He's like, oh shit, I gotta run back.
Let me just play it sideways.
Let me play it sideways. So that's where we are with this team. That is where we are. Back then, they could turn over and switch managers. Now, you can't do that. You can't change managers year after year. You can't ask Sarri to be pragmatic so that he could get you into the top 4. And then next season, when the board's like, oh, well, he got us this, so we don't really need to reward him because they're not rewarding him now, period. So then what's going to happen? You hired him knowing that he plays a certain way. He plays 4-3-3. And I don't know if he's ever going to change that.
He's not.
And
He's not.
And you know what? You know what? If I'm a manager and my football is as good as his, as we saw peak Napoli, with some better players and some better investment, I wouldn't change it either.
No.
Yeah, yes, as a manager, yes, you can hit me and be like, yeah, well, that's your job. Yes, you're supposed to motivate the players. I get all of that. But these Chelsea players have been doing the same shit for the past 5 years, and nothing has really changed. They've won league titles when there's been no real competition. Guess what? There's real competition now, and it's only going to get worse because Liverpool's only going to try to get better. City is only going to get better. Manchester United want to be the best, and they'll do whatever the hell they want to do to be the best. Arsenal are trying to get there. Spurs
are trying to do nothing.
Spurs will continue to say nothing.
Spurs ain't doing nothing, but one thing.
But they're still better than you.
The one thing that Spurs have over Chelsea, stability.
And you know what? You mentioned something.
They have longevity.
But not only that, they have something that you mentioned. They have Harry Kane, who can win you a game by himself.
Yeah,
they have a system. They have a system.
They have a system. But
Chelsea don't have that.
Yeah.
Every year is a different.
Every year it's a new change. Conte got the back 3. Conte won them the title. Conte's thinking, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna get me some players. No,
you're gonna get the sack.
No, sorry, buddy. You want us to leave?
You gotta make Ruben work.
You gotta do it again with the same players. So what's the problem? So what are we really achieving here? I do not want Sarri to change a goddamn thing. And if they fire him, that's their loss. Because at this point, they can't afford to lose another big manager. They can't.
I think we're gonna give him the applause too.
No, I don't even want applause. I don't want applause. No, it's not the manager. I don't want to change a goddamn thing. I want to stick with this 4-3-3. I want these players to know that they're not good enough. And yeah, Eden, go to Real Madrid. He may end up like Thibaut.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
What's Thibaut saying? Thibaut thought he could go to Madrid and be the starting goalkeeper and that he would be the best goalkeeper in the world. What the hell has Thibaut done since he left?
He's led in a whole bunch of goals.
Look,
there's so many players who went to Madrid and fell off.
So look at that. So go, Eden. Chelsea need to stick with Sarri. They need to back him. He needs to stick with that 4-3-3. And wherever they finish this season, it don't got to be top 4, but when that board looks at it and looks at that squad in the summer, they better give him a check. And I don't want a number on it. I don't want a number on it, Roman. There should be no number on it because you got to rebuild that entire squad from the top to the bottom. Because Kovacic, if I'm them, I'm not keeping Kovacic.
No.
For what? Send him back to Madrid.
Madrid are praying that they keep him.
Madrid don't want him.
Madrid don't want to pay his wages.
You know what? I look at that starting 11, and there might be only one person out of that starting 11, maybe 2, but one for sure that I would keep, and that's Kepa. That's it.
Oh damn!
Damn, you're getting rid of Conte?
Wow, Hazard.
I said 2.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So Conte I would keep 2.
And you want to know what?
Hazard is gone.
And you know what? I'm giving Conte a pass because yes, he's playing a new role, and I don't want him to. I told you last week, I don't want him to go to defensive midfielder, and I don't want Kovacic beside him either. I don't want Conte playing in that role. Conte, you're playing a new role. You're playing a new role. And I don't expect you to maximize that role in the first 6 months. This is a long-term project. Chelsea always want that attractive football. They want the long-term project. For once, grow up, deal with it, stick with it. Conte could be better next season in that role, but it's only been 6 months, so I'm not going to kill him for not reaching the potential that Sarri wants him to. But they got to get together and stick with it. When I look at that Chelsea squad, yeah, you're right. Perhaps only Kepa.
And Conte.
Perhaps Conte. I said on Twitter, Hazard is the worst superstar that this sport has probably seen in the last decade.
Look,
he is. Yo, you're a superstar. You're supposed to win games, create goals, kill teams.
When your own manager tells you that you're not a leader,
Yeah.
oh,
You can't be a world-class player and not be a leader.
He needs a killer, man. He needs a killer up front.
He ain't a killer.
No, he needs one.
So he's got the Grease syndrome.
Yeah. No, but Hazard has to be better than Grease. Grizz. But you need to be that guy. You can't be out here flirting with Real Madrid and not be a killer. When I look at players that have got that big move to Spain, barring Coutinho, because Barca were on some shit and they're learning now that Coutinho isn't as great as he was. When I look at recent players that have gone and made that jump, I look at Cristiano. Look at those final years when he was in the Premier League, what he was doing. He was winning games. He was winning trophies.
He's doing everything.
He was winning European Cups. He was getting European Cup finals and losing to one of the greatest teams of all time, and that's not even a shot on him because that team was that great. I look at Luis Suarez in that final year that he was there.
he was racking up goals for Liverpool, winning on his own.
Daniel Sturridge has never looked better.
Daniel Sturridge will never.
Daniel Sturridge will never look better. Liverpool, that was Liverpool that should have won the league. But that Liverpool side had some limitations. I look at Gareth Bale in that final season with Spurs. When he was doing it all. He deserved that move. I look at Eden, and in a game against Bournemouth, when you need your big player to step up and make a decisive play to change the game, to turn it on its head, and Eden's there doing back heels. Eden's there dropping off. He has an easy pass to the right. He's misplacing the pass. And this is something we've seen it for too long. Look, I'm tired of Chelsea fans because they want to kill Sarri, but who the hell are they going to bring in? Like I said, if I'm a coach, why am I going there? What am I getting out of there besides a nice paycheck when I get fired? A severance package.
The problem is they better make the Champions League.
The problem is that they don't. If they keep Sarri and they invest in him, they don't. I don't think they need to make it this year. I don't think it's that critical. I think keeping Sarri is more important than finishing in the top four.
But I don't think the owner thinks that.
I think you got to manage both. I just don't think you can go 2 years without having Champions League soccer.
Yeah, especially with the.
I think that's huge because then if you're asking for money and then you don't have that Champions League money, that's tough.
It is,
especially knowing Roman, because then that means that's coming out of his pocket, and he doesn't want anything coming out of his pocket.
No.
Look, they got to make a change. They really got to look at it because they are treading in deep water. That 4-0 last night could have been prevented. I thought a lot of it was
when
down
you
to
go
defense.
into it at halftime and it's 0-0 and you don't have one guy that comes out of that locker room and says, "Let's get going here." Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we have a real chance here to build a gap, and they don't. And you give up that one goal, then you fall flat on your face. That shows me all I need to know about this squad.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. That first goal goes in, and I was watching that game, and I said to myself, "Oh, this is done. This could be ugly for Chelsea." And you know what? It did. And I was surprised, to your point, how quickly a team like that crumbled when that first goal went in.
The days of those guys that I mentioned, the legends of that club over the past decade, 2 decades, they're gone. Those guys aren't there anymore. These guys aren't good enough to be those players. They don't have, and this is where the Mourinho thing comes into play. And I think this is the difficulty that Mourinho has now, is that he could count on those players, that even if his tactics weren't working, that those players would go the extra mile for him. Because sometimes tactics can only go so far and defining a game. Sometimes it's just an extra bit of grit and extra bit of hard work, and people don't understand that. But when the going gets tough and they just crumble,
But that's a huge problem because none of these guys are Sarri's guys.
and that's another thing.
Because what's going to make them play for Sarri? Apart from Jorginho.
That's
the problem when you want to bring your system into a club, right? You sort of need to like mold.
Yeah.
You need to ship off players.
Of course.
Like what Mourinho was trying to do.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
tough.
But they didn't really give him much time. He got after a World Cup season, he got hired in what? Was it
In August, it was.
Yeah.
You think a 40-minute conversation after the game is going to light a fire under Eden's ass?
No. Eden is already checked out. I'll tell you right now.
Sure, he's been talking about Madrid for the last 4 months.
Yeah. Eden is checked out.
His ego, man.
He's a loser.
The
Look, man, he's a loser. He is probably the worst. I'm standing by. Find me a superstar that lacks the killer instinct, the balls, the willingness to win that Eden Hazard has. Find me someone that's worse than that. And, I'll throw money on the table for you guys. Pause. I can't think of a great player that is like that. And I don't want any passes. I don't want any excuses for him. That's just what he is.
That being said, he is having one of his better years, right?
Yes, The stats don't mean shit. Keep your stats.
Yeah.
Keep your stats. I don't want your stats. I don't care what edit. Look, they're in real danger here, and they shouldn't be in real danger. Performances like that are the reasons why you don't finish in the top four. And that's what I got to say about Chelsea. I think their fans need to come to realization. I feel like the board needs to come to realization. We could look at sides, managers that have come in recent years. It wasn't all sun and rainbows for Jurgen Klopp in his first year at Liverpool. They had to get beat down a few times.
Yeah.
They had to learn the hard way. Look at Pep. When Pep came in the first year and he had those bums at fullback, those over 30, guys that couldn't run, Zabaleta, Clichy, the whole gang.
Cleared them all out.
He cleared them all out. And in that season that they were there, the first season, they went to Leicester and got killed. What is it, 4-2?
4-2.
4-2.
4-5.
They went to Everton and got killed 4-0.
Yep.
People don't remember that. But sometimes that is what happens. You go into a club, you are brought in to implement a philosophy. The players there don't fit that. You got to suffer a year until you're able to have a few transfer windows to really bring things together. But this club, I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they're going to back them like City backs Guardiola, like Liverpool backs Klopp, like United will back the next manager, like Arsenal are backing Unai.
It's been 3 years. Klopp hasn't won shit.
Still there.
Yep.
Poch hasn't won shit.
Still there. But we're 6 months in and people are like, where's Sarri ball? Well, sorry, you can't play Sarri ball with Willian, with Pedro, with that backline. Sorry, it's not happening. Talk to your board. Start protesting. Yeah, I'm here for the protests in 2019.
The problem is Sarri being there attractive enough for players to come? When
They
they
better make the Champions League.
when
That's what
they
I'm
see
saying.
that the projects of the other four top sides.
I think he could. I'm not saying he's going to attract the best players, but I think he can get the players that he needs to make that system work. I've seen him do it with much less, so I know that if he can identify the players that he wants and the board goes after them, he's able to do it. Callejon, Insigne, and Mertens. And you know how I feel about Insigne. And Callejon ain't that much better than Pedro.
Are those caliber players good enough to win you a Premier League title?
No.
Or does his system take them over the edge?
It could.
It could,
It very much could.
but I think he needs better than those three individuals that you just said to really take a run at the Premier League title.
Well, Chelsea are going to attract better players than those.
No,
guys.
that's what I'm saying. But
so I'm not worried about that. But I'm just giving you some. I'm giving you some context.
comparisons.
yeah.
Midfield with Hamsik.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about him. Diawara.
Yeah.
Zielinski.
And
Come on, man.
He did a lot.
Come on.
With very little.
Come
at
on,
Napoli.
man. And how long did that take for it to really work?
I would say it took him a good 2 years.
Yeah.
Good 2 years.
And ain't gonna come in with those bums. Most of them are over 30. The club don't want to sell Willian to Barcelona for God knows what. I don't know why.
I would have shipped him so quick.
You take that 60 million bag and you invest it somewhere else. Well, like it's like what are we playing
Give me
here?
30 for that guy at this point.
Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like we really need to take a deep dive. We gotta talk to someone in London. We need to scoop in West London. What the hell is going on in that football?
I want to know.
31 years old.
I want to know what the higher ups, what kind of decisions they're making.
Who the hell is giving you 60 million for Willian?
Yeah,
Gift.
He has 1 foot and 1 move.
that was the blank check.
Yeah. That was exactly.
That was the blank check. Was that?
Yeah.
He has 1 move.
You can trade him for Robin.
I would take Robin. That plays 20 games a season.
Yeah.
He'll give me more than Willian in those 60. Look, man, Chelsea, a big problem with the fans, got a real problem with the board. They deserve to lose this week. I know y'all don't really got much to chime in, but that's the big issue here. And they need to fix it. And I don't want to hear anything about the pragmatism or he needs to change the system. Stick with it. Give him the players that he wants. If he fails with the players that you invest, then you cut him loose. But don't cut him loose after 6 months because sorry ball isn't working because the players that you have aren't capable of playing that type of football. I understand that, yes, good manager's supposed to get results and supposed to be pragmatic, but this is a long-term project.
Name me one player you want to see on Chelsea right now. One player like that fits the
Sarri.
Chelsea Sarri.
I don't...
You can't come up with one player? Just one guy who fits the mold.
That's
James Rodriguez.
Who's available?
James.
Good shout, I guess. He's been on the low.
Perhaps.
I don't think Napoli ever had anybody as creative as him.
No, but that's a kind of a sorry
That's someone
signing.
That's someone that could get you goals in midfield.
Yeah, but does he track back and defend the way Sarri wants?
That's something that they'd have to work on.
Because that creative player still has to play a role defensively.
Yeah.
Right.
The equivalent to what AC Milan just did with Paqueta,
Yeah.
somebody who can be creative and break lines, but still link play and play defensively.
That's what Chelsea are missing right now.
That's exactly what they're missing. I'm fine with Jorginho and Conte.
Yeah, I have no problem.
Jorginho, Conte, you're missing the third.
You're missing the third.
That is, I don't care what anybody says. That's a world-class midfield.
Yeah.
If you add that third player.
People are like, oh, well, if you press him out of the game.
You want to go after somebody, go after Rabiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a competent player who can link lines but still play defensively at the same time and still add a goal here or there.
People are like, oh, well, you press him out of the game. Well, they don't really do anything. Well, that's an issue with the squad.
Right.
Because I've seen, you can name, because obviously you have the people that were once comparing him to Scholes and Alonso and Pirlo. I'm not going that far. But you press those guys out of the game, what are they doing?
That's every great
I've
every
seen
great
Pirlo,
player.
I've seen Scholes, I've seen Alonso get pressed out of the game. Those players cannot deal with the press that is being played at this level in this time.
Right.
They would get overrun. Those players excelled when they had time on the ball.
Yes, especially Pirlo.
And they do have more range than Jorginho, but they two different ways of playing.
It's just normal when you have 2-3 players running at you.
Yeah.
There's gonna be situations where you're not gonna know where to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So people are like, oh, well, they put Ramsey on him and they put Dele on him. You put any of those players I just named, and those players sit on them and track them for 90 minutes. They're not doing squat. I've seen Danny Welbeck shut down Xabi Alonso out of a game in his peak.
I've seen Busquets. That happened to Busquets this season.
Exactly.
So don't hit me with that.
What did Lo Celso do to him when he played Betis?
So don't hit me with that.
It happens.
It happens. It's part of the game. But the thing is that those other players in those advanced positions have to create as well.
Yeah.
But Chelsea don't have that player. And that's my thing. I'm tired of talking about these bums and their fan base and their incompetent board.
He's supposed to be that guy.
Yeah, but he's a loser. Eden Hazard is a loser, and he's the worst superstar in this sport in the past decade. Find someone that is worse than him at me. We could talk about it. But until then, he's the worst. What's next? Arsenal should have lost this week too.
No, I don't want to talk about those.
They're the one that benefited from all the madness that went above them.
The team that won this weekend should have lost.
Exactly.
Everybody that won should have lost.
Bobby Reed was killing them in the first half.
Cardiff can't score goals.
No.
And unfortunately, that's the story.
But
to
that's
their season.
that's the narrative of that match.
That's the story to their
There's
season.
not really too much to analyze in that.
You're gonna finish in the top 4 and get killed by Bobby Reed.
Yep.
Yo, you don't even know who Bobby Reed is.
That's because he doesn't have his real name on the back of his jersey.
That's right.
He's got some other name on his jersey.
It was really bad. It was really bad. Guendouzi played well. I don't really like him, but I don't like him because I just don't like him.
That's funny because I think I wrote down, because you asked me at the beginning of the season, what did I think about him? Now, I want to ask you at this point of the season, 4 months on, what do you think about him?
I see the potential. I see the potential.
You could see him and Tyrrell type of midfield?
Yeah, I could see the potential in a season or two. I like where he's going. I just don't like him. I just don't like
As
his
a
dad.
person.
I just don't like him.
You don't
I
even know
like
his character and you don't like
I
him.
don't like him.
Growing on.
But there's potential.
Yes.
I bet you he likes you, though. You don't like him, but he likes you.
You better like
Yeah.
me. I just don't like him. But he is a good player that could eventually grow into a great player. The potential is there.
Yes.
And besides that, the game changed when Iwobi came on, and you know how I feel about him too.
I was
The
about to
African
say.
Raheem.
Yeah.
Shout out to the African Raheem. Iwobi's the African Raheem Sterling, you know, but he's like bootleg. He's like just under. He's not as good as Raheem, but he could.
Raheem gets nervous in the box, and Wolby gets nervous in midfield.
Iwobi gets nervous when he's dribbling with the ball. He's like, "What am I doing?" He reminds me of me. Like, what am I doing with the ball?
Pass.
He's like shaking. I'm like, "Shit, that was me."
But they have enough. The difference is they have enough talent up front to win them these games.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because I feel like if it was last season where they didn't have Lacazette or they didn't have Aubameyang, they're not winning a game.
No,
like this.
they
And that's
either
the
lose
difference.
or tie that game last year.
Goals get you out of jams when you're not playing well.
Yes.
And that's what we've seen all the other teams not be able to do, is get timely goals.
Right.
Well, they did play Cardiff, but yeah, you're right. I agree. That regardless of Mustafi and Monreal playing at center back, those two should never play at center back.
I'm starting to feel bad for them. Like everybody's dropping like flies.
Yes.
They played Jenkinson. I read something like Jenkinson hadn't
Hadn't
played a
played in
game
4
at
years.
home for 4 years.
Wait, do you think
Play
that
the kit man.
do you think Unai's system could be a factor to that?
Of the injuries?
The hard pressing, the change in training sessions, you know.
Oh, that's almost the same question that could be posed to Pep at this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
but we know that with Pep. But I don't know. I don't want to know what Pep does in his trainings. But his players drop like flies on a year-to-year basis. But I'm saying that the adaptation from an Arsene Wenger training session, because that looks like it'd be laxed. I feel like they run the training.
Well, if this is what it means to win, then
and
it's what has to be done.
And I feel like perhaps that could be the case. But I pose the same question to you guys. You're talking about, can Chelsea attract the players for Sarri? Can Arsenal attract the defenders that they need to be as great as they want to be? Because it's hard to find good defenders nowadays.
Arsenal pay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Ozil.
That was those two were once in
They attracted two of the better strikers in Europe.
they attracted Ozil because no one wanted him and Real Madrid wanted to get rid of him.
Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Lacazette.
I think those are still pretty decent names in terms of
Okay.
attracting players.
Okay, what's your
I just
They
think
never get them at their peak.
Yeah.
Aubameyang wasn't at his peak.
I just think that it's difficult to find a very good defender nowadays.
It's very good to find a central defender,
You
too.
have to pay the top dollar.
and I don't know if Arsenal's going to pay that top dollar.
Will Arsenal go pay $95 million
No.
for the next guy?
No,
Not for a defender.
no, they won't.
Not a defender.
No, they won't.
Is there will Arsenal go pay the 90 or the 100 for Koulibaly?
No, 100% no.
It's a
No.
waste of money. I don't think it would be a good investment.
United will pay for it. Arsenal won't.
Arsenal will pay
Maybe
for
attackers.
Arsenal will pay for a $50-60 million defender. They will not pay that price, a 90,
Absurd. He's not scoring
95.
I don't even think Arsenal are paying for a 90 million attacker.
goals. Yeah.
Oh, they have shown us no reason as to why they're going to do that. They can't even buy players now in the January transfer window because of all the stuff that's happening behind the
director
scenes.
and
behind
all
the
that
scenes.
stuff.
So I don't know who you think they're going to buy.
Well, it's just Unai wants his guys, and the old directors are telling him no.
Yeah, and I think that.
But now Unai's winning.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be the case.
In the long run, if he's fighting for a top 4, you have to give him what he wants. Nobody would have dreamed of this right now at this point.
And our
They are over. You talk about yes.
100%.
in our world, they should give it to him. But in
I'd
their
like to
in
think
their
that-
world, I don't know if they're gonna give it to
I
him.
don't think their football is that compelling, like stylistically or just like exploitably wise. There's nothing, you know.
No.
That attracts you to it.
I think they've been overachieving, like you guys said.
And I've said this.
This system isn't.
I've said this before. I don't know if Unai can do it with those players that you think or that people think that they should get.
Well,
So-
he for sure can't do it with these defenders.
I know, but what I'm saying is that it'll be interesting to see how he attempts to fix that backline. Will he go to the youth system? Can he attract a quality defender? Who does he bring in? Can they fit the system? A lot of questions to ask.
Well, we're going to find that out in
He might have to go and attract a Marquinhos or something
yeah.
like that.
That
He's not
was
going to get the Koulibaly.
no, but that's what I was referring to before. Someone like a Marquinhos that will probably cost him around 45, 50.
Or maybe Kimpembe.
Those guys are not leaving PSG. Thiago Silva's not getting any younger.
I didn't say him. I knew not to say him.
yeah,
The lights of the Premier League shine.
Yeah.
That in itself could be an attractive place to come play.
They got a
London.
they got a nice
Arsenal's London.
they got a nice Brazilian clan in Paris. I don't know if you want to mess with that squad. I'll just let you know. But no, it'll be interesting to see how they do go about that. But that's all I could really say. I know that's what they have to strengthen, but it's much easier said than done. But I'm interested to see how they're going to do it.
I just think based off the project, I think if I was a player looking on the outside in, that would be somewhere that I could see myself going to.
After the other three.
yeah. It's not the most
It's not the
compelling.
first. It's not the first on the list.
I think they'd go to United over Arsenal.
I've talked about the United brand.
Yeah.
This year, and that team's
Yeah.
gonna suffer.
No,
Yeah.
United can miss out on people are still going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, brand.
But maybe that's the only team because if Chelsea or thing misses out,
Oh no, Chelsea could hit you with Chelsea could hit you with wages.
Well, Kepa.
Arsenal can't hit you with wages. I know they did for Ozil, but that's not what they do historically. So that's my thing with them.
Moving on.
United, the new manager drip, the new manager
Finally.
bounce.
Finally.
Ollie, Burnley are trash because they scored the second goal and it's like 9 minutes left and they
Concede
Somehow
twice.
give it up.
Hendrick with the penalty and then the
I don't even want to talk about the
yeah.
penalty.
United. Here's my thing about United, and I've said this from the start. I know Ollie surprises with a diamond twice, and he got at Spurs, which I could have got at them. It's always easy to say that you could get at them,
Always.
but like really when you watch it, it's like, I really could have done that. That I could have really done what Ollie did. It made sense. I give him his credit. They got the game plan right, and De Gea bailed them out. And then at Arsenal, they got the game plan right again, and Arsenal, the inconsistency from them, which we didn't talk about this week because they won, it went to go show. But the way I've seen United play against the smaller sides, I don't think there's been a significant difference or significant change to what they were doing under Mourinho. I don't think it's been that drastic.
I think he's been able just to motivate the players.
Yeah.
That's just simply what he's been able to do.
Yeah,
Which
he's
goal-
talked about the United way, and
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means, he's got the best out of Pogba. He's got the best out of Lingard. He's got the best out of Rashford, and that's been the difference, really.
We see this happen all the time.
The new manager drip.
The old manager walks
manager
out.
bounce.
Yep.
The guys don't like him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen. We've seen it for half a season. How do you think Chelsea won the Champions League?
United
Didn't
didn't look consistent at all, man.
How did-
Mourinho.
But this is what I just harped about Chelsea doing. That's what United are doing now. Chelsea made a whole decade off of that. Sacky managers, new manager comes in for half a season. They change the tune. They go far in the Champions League. Like we've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Madrid
Doesn't last.
are somewhat doing it despite having a bit of bumps. They changed their manager, Solari, and they're winning games.
Yep.
They're back in the top 3. They're looking much better. So that's why when I look at them, it's like, and I think their schedule was a bit favorable. I think those were games that Mourinho could have won as well.
Yeah, now they've got a tough stretch of fixtures coming up.
And we're gonna learn a lot about them. We're gonna learn a lot about them.
I think they have Arsenal in there. They have PSG home and away in the Champions League.
They have Liverpool.
Neymar's injured, no?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, he'll be missing that, which is gonna give me back to my point to bring you guys to who's gonna win that tie. Look, United weren't that great this week. And I think there have been games like the Brighton game in particular where they haven't been that great, but they're able to squeak it out. Here, they fell 2 goals behind, rightly so, mistakes.
Yes.
And they were punished. And they were able to squeeze it out because they didn't create that many chances. The changes that Ollie made didn't significantly change the game. But the players that were brought on did end up affecting the game.
But you know what? And I know it's Burnley.
Yeah.
But Burnley's got to kill that game off. Burnley, I know as poor as Burnley are, you're up 2-0 with, I don't remember, it was 10 minutes, 9 minutes left?
9 minutes.
9. If you can't see out a game up to 9 minutes left, I mean, that speaks more on Burnley than anything else.
I was saying the same thing when Spurs beat them in like the last second a few weeks ago. But that's just who they are. They're not that great of a side. They are just above the relegation zone. And they were away from home. They ran out of gas.
Especially with the defensive effort they put in.
Yeah. Tarkowski and me were great.
Mm-hmm.
But
there was a couple instances where they switched off and things just didn't go their way for the last bit.
Yeah. But that's how it
It's
goes.
not good enough as a Premier League side.
Yeah.
As a Premier League side, you should not give up a 2-goal lead with 10 minutes to go.
No.
And that was to my point.
Yeah.
100% agree with you.
But I don't really have much to say about United this week. I think they could have been better. They weren't.
United, we can't judge week to week.
No.
United needs to be judged in 2 to 3 months.
Yeah. Well, I must tell you, though, they didn't play good this week. And I expected that type of performance. And Rashford was unable to bail them out. We saw the type of Rashford miss that we got when he was playing for Mourinho.
Yep.
Should score. You know? So we like I said, just slow the roll with United. They continue to get results. They drop points here. But February will be a very telling month for them.
Mm-hmm.
If he navigates them through that, is there any way he gets the long-term job?
No. I still don't think he's...
Ready?
Yeah, and I don't think... I think United need that big name manager. I know that he's got a history with United and for all the things he did as a player, but at the end of the day, United need that big name coach. I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and he was saying they need an English coach. I don't know how much of that I buy.
What great English coach is out there?
I don't know.
What English coaches won the Premier League?
Yeah, exactly. But he said they need not only does he need a good English speaking coach, but they think they need an English coach. And I said to him, but Ferguson wasn't English either. And he said, well, Scottish English is close enough. So,
Okay.
you know.
That's how it works.
No, he's wrong, and that's not true. And I don't think Pochettino's the big manager, so I'm cutting that off right there.
Because you think Poch is going there?
Well, that's apparently one of the managers that they want. I don't think he's a big manager. And 2, I think that if they did make a deep Champions League run and finish in the top 4, we might be able to have that conversation.
A deep say it again.
If they make
deep Champions League run and finish 4th.
And finish in the top 4. Don't count out. They could finish. They could finish 3rd.
Sure.
And Spurs could finish 4th.
Yep, they could.
Yeah.
The Red Devil.
Yeah. I just let it be known that United might finish in the top 4. And you said they weren't going to.
I did not say that. I said that Spurs were going to finish in the top 3.
Okay. That was like a lukewarm take.
No, I gave you my Spurs is going to finish top 3.
Okay.
I'm
So
sticking
we
with
don't
that.
get to kill you if they do. Okay, fair enough.
No.
Spurs 1-2.
Yeah.
Dan ain't really got nothing to say about it.
Hey,
They didn't play
Dan's
that-
our Spurs insider.
They didn't play well in the first half. I'm gonna get straight to the point.
how'd you like that first half that I told you not to watch?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Lucas came on, changed it up a bit.
Yes.
And they were able to grind it out in the final 10 minutes. My only thing about Spurs, I'll get to this, keep it short and sweet. like I said at the start of the season, I trust them to get results over the small teams more than the other 4 teams.
And you're bang on.
Any day you get a goal.
With Kane, without Alli, fine.
Well, they navigated decently last season without Kane.
Yeah, they've been doing
possible.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing well, and Son makes a big difference on that team.
Yeah.
And kudos to him who came back and goes right back into that.
He's been in some kind of form this season.
Yeah.
They've definitely benefited from that.
Yeah, he's been probably their standout player this season.
Yeah, and he took his chance. He actually should have scored early or late in the first half, and he took his chance very nicely in the second, and then Llorente scores a classic Llorente header. I know that you're.
What you say, Foster should have saved that.
Oh, you're see. You know what? I'm the one who normally rips on the
That's
keepers.
a horrible angle.
I don't care.
It's just a very good header.
I don't care.
Let's not talk about Lloris either.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that first
No,
goal.
but he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he needed the over.
No,
needed the over.
No. Look, I'm not like it was a great goal, but Foster was rooted. He was rooted.
Listen, you're gonna rip Foster.
He had an oh shit moment.
Yeah, he panicked.
Yeah, he was like, holy shit.
Once that ball left Llorente's head, he was like, oh shit.
Oh, he knew once that header left.
Yeah, your feet gotta be moving, my brother.
That's probably the only thing Llorente can do very well.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he missed a handful of chances.
Yeah.
With his knee.
Yeah.
You just gotta let him header the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his best chance.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done with the Premier League.
Yeah.
Wolves beat my guys 3-0. Who else did something that mattered?
Wolves is on quite a little bit of a tear here.
Yeah. They're
Scoring more than one goal a game.
Yeah.
They're in 7th, aren't they?
I don't
This
know.
is groundbreaking.
I don't know who they think they are and why they think they need to finish in the top half, but someone's got to stop that.
I think we knew at the beginning of the season that their goal was to at least finish in the top half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect Nuno to change the system and put more goal scorers up front. more of a goal scoring threat up front. But he surprised me. Shout out to him.
He's doing much better than the other Portuguese manager.
Who's the other Portuguese manager?
Your buddy Marco?
Oh yeah, well he's a loser. But didn't they win?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
barely.
Yeah. Your boy Richarlison scored.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a deep dive about him, but we can't do it this week because we got so much more to talk about.
That's fair.
Who else? Is that it?
Yeah.
No one else cares about the other teams.
No.
Huddersfield win?
No.
Huddersfield lost?
Huddersfield lost Everton.
Yeah, Everton.
Oh yeah, they're getting relegated soon. I'm gonna stamp that.
And your boys tied.
Which boys?
Yeah, both our
Oh
teams
yeah,
win head
our
to head.
boys tied
Yeah.
Saints.
Yeah.
Shout out to James Ward-Prowse.
I was giving you shit when Zaha went up.
Dude, he thought that he could talk to me, and then James Ward-Prowse came on and killed it.
Yeah.
We like such bad teams.
Okay, Premier League's done.
Yeah.
We're heading to Italy because we missed Italy last week. Look, Juventus, who they squeaked by this weekend?
Lazio.
They squeaked by Lazio, and boy, did they not hit that gear.
In which game?
And both.
Congratulations.
Hey, listen.
You played yourself.
They didn't hit the gear. I don't care what you tell me. They didn't hit the gear. It's a results-oriented business, but they didn't hit the gear.
Maybe they don't have the gear.
They don't have the gear. I've been trying to tell you guys. I've been giving them a little pass. They don't have the gear. And Dan's like, shit. He's always going to bring up the gear until they win the Champions League. But look, Dad.
They're not winning the Champions League. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, things have shifted in a couple of months there, buddy.
No.
You know who plays for them, right?
I know who plays for them.
CR7.
I don't care if it's. I don't care if it's.
You tell him.
I don't care if it's CR7, CR8, CR9.
You tell him who plays for his favorite team.
Check how many Champions Leagues he has, man.
I don't care how many Champions League he has.
Mr. Champions League to you, Dan.
That's
Oh, yeah. You remember how that started?
Yeah.
Mr. Champions League.
That's. I don't care. I don't care what he calls himself. I'm worried for this team. This is the first time I'm going to say it.
Allegri's looking a little worried.
Yeah.
Threw off his coat.
He was not happy against Atalanta.
He got a little frazzled.
Yeah, he did.
Can you imagine Allegri getting cheesed at you? Oh, relax, old man. You know, keep your jacket on.
He knows. He knows. He said that after the. You know what? The one thing that I like about Allegri is that in his press conferences, he's always honest. He tells it the way it is.
I think that's an Italian trait because Sarri sort of plays by the same rules.
Yeah, he does.
Writes you a shit.
Allegri pretty much said after that, even after the game that they won against Lazio, he said we didn't play well. We were lucky to win. And then against Atalanta, he said it was inevitable that we were going to lose. We haven't been playing well.
He should record that.
Has he been
He should
saying that
record
all
that
season?
weekly.
Huh?
To
No.
lose 3-0? This is
Yeah.
stylistic. What was the issue? issue, man. There must have been some huge.
Yo, Duvon is on a heater.
Duvon blitzed them. Shout out to my boy Papu Gomez.
Yeah, he also had a really good game.
Look, the first game, I don't want to give him credit, but he did bring on the players that changed the game.
Yes, he did.
He brought on Cancelo and he brought on Berna, and they changed the game. Although I don't think they should have won that game. And you could blame Lazio for their poor finishing, but
That's
Juve,
who you blame.
But Juve weren't good.
No.
They weren't good.
As you can say, Juve weren't good, but Lazio have to finish that game off. Immobile has to finish that chance in the second half. They've got to kill that game off. That's as much on Lazio not finishing that game off as it is for Juve coming back.
No, they wasted far too many chances.
Yes.
Yeah.
And against good teams, it doesn't even have to be Juve. Against any good team, if you are a team like Lazio, you have to finish those chances. They didn't, and they got punished.
But that's why Lazio are a bubble team, though.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that in them.
Right.
Juve, we expect so much more from them.
And as you should.
And yeah, the midfield has a big problem. And like I said, when people talk about Jorginho getting pressed in the Champions League, what's going to happen when they press Piatek?
Well, that's a problem. Piatek is not 100% right now. I think if they can get Mario fit, I think he's going to be a big key for Juve. And I think he's not underappreciated by the Juventus fans. I know how much he's appreciated by them.
Yeah, what was I say? We praise him.
No, but he's underappreciated by those outside of Juve.
Look, so what happened at Lazio, we all agree on. We agree the Lazio burned a lot of chances.
Yeah,
100%.
And Juve weren't that great.
That's undeniable, yeah.
And they squeak by like they have been doing in the league.
Yep.
Then we get to Atalanta,
And they
that
got
was just a
hammered.
bomb.
Yep.
They were terrible. But I wasn't surprised that they weren't that great
But
because I've seen that performance.
But
Not as bad in terms of misplacing passes and being swarmed by the press and being overwhelmed, but just not doing enough, not creating much. Cristiano's got the goals, but he had a great start to the first quarter of the season because I don't know where we are now, but the past few weeks
We're halfway.
The past few weeks have been a bit quiet.
Yep.
That's not all on him because the guy that's supposed to be helping him link the play or doing whatever he's supposed to do that wears the number 10. He wears the number 10, right?
Yeah, he does.
The little Argentinian.
Yeah.
What the hell does he do?
What did I say to you when we were watching Atalanta?
I
said
yeah.
it was maybe the 40th minute. I said, do you know Dybala's playing in this game? He didn't touch the ball.
It's been like that for weeks.
Yeah.
For weeks, for months.
It's funny because now I see people having that conversation.
People are having that conversation a few weeks too late, but he hasn't been doing things for a very long time, and I'm sick of it. We gotta get him out of there.
Yeah.
I got him out of the starting lineup.
He deserves. You know what? If when Mario comes back,
Yeah.
Dybala's the first one to leave.
I don't think so.
Why?
It's
Who's?
gonna be Berna.
Yeah.
But Bernard's not starting.
The ball's in that lineup.
But when
100%.
Mario was
it's
there,
gonna be Douglas.
When Mario was there, it
was those three.
Dybala wasn't starting. No,
Yeah, it was those three.
no.
Yeah.
Week in, week out. No.
No, but remember Douglas took a bit of
hiatus.
hiatus after.
Yeah,
After
he
that
spit in
incident.
buddy's face and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
But-
It's been those three all season.
No, but there was a patch where Dybala, Mandzukic, and Ronaldo were getting it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's been those three.
Oh, so Dybala, Mandzukic, and Ronaldo.
And Ronaldo, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Mandzukic is replacing Dybala. Dybala's not going to the bench. That's not happening.
Yeah, I know, but he should.
He should.
It's not.
I know, but he should.
He wears the captain's armband.
I know, but he shouldn't.
Whatever leadership roles he has, they don't really seem prevalent on the pitch.
But we saw them get beat down by probably the most exciting side in Serie A.
And I think you also have to give Gasperini a lot of credit for that.
Of course.
I think he's an underappreciated manager
He is.
for what he does with that team. And that team is like you said, a very exciting, up and coming, talented team.
Look, let's be real. Any manager that's doing well in Serie A is underappreciated because no one's really watching the league.
You're right, because it's over.
And no one's watching the league because I have a big problem with people that don't watch these leagues and then have something to say about it. But that's for another day. But Gasperini
98% of people.
is one of them.
Yes.
Because he's doing a great job. But
Yes.
who's really taking that into consideration? No one really. Pretty sure they should have got beat. They should have lost to Roma this weekend.
Yes.
But they turned that around real quick.
Yeah, they were down 2, I think. Maybe 3.
But look, the thing about Juve now is Bonucci's out, Chiellini's out, Rugani needs more game time to show what he is or if he is anything.
Yep.
Or if he amounts to anything. And they sold Bonaccia.
That's on Juve though.
Yeah, that is.
You guys are you're putting your whole season on 2 30-something-year-olds.
Yeah.
That is.
And a kid.
That is. 100%. And they sold Bonaccia.
That was our beef. That's been our beef.
They sold Bonaccia. So now they're going to this tie with Atletico Madrid. And they should be and they're both of the sides aren't really playing well. So it's the battle of the two teams that should be great and have been underperforming all season. And Juve now are at
A crossroads.
Yeah, they're at a crossroads because Atleti can match them in midfield. Atleti now with the new arrival of Morata,
That's gonna be it. He's gonna score that. He's gonna score the winner.
who likes to kill his old teams.
Yeah.
If he
Gets a chance to kill his old
He's gonna
teams.
score that
scores
away
a
goal.
winner
He's gonna score the away goal winner.
in extra time.
Oh, that would burn me so bad. That would burn because you know what? Juve is at home in the second leg.
He better do that stupid Zorro celebration. He's to cut that shit out. But they're in a real crossroads. And a lot of people do not believe that this team's going to win the Champions League. And I know the only reason why people think they will is because the Ronaldo
So hold on,
factor.
say that again. A lot of people think they will or will
A
not.
lot of people think that they won't win the Champions League this
they're
season.
not.
I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of people are pegging them to be the favorites.
But the only reason why people are giving them that favorite tag is because of the Ronaldo factor. Remember what we said earlier this season about that Ronaldo factor. We said that Ronaldo ain't playing with Luka, he ain't playing with Tony, he ain't got the service from Marcelo and Carvajal.
Oh, we know that.
He
But
don't
everybody else
he
doesn't.
He doesn't have Isco funneling him the ball. He doesn't have Benzema making the runs. Although Mandzukic does complement him well, he doesn't have a player like Benzema occupying space for him. This is a totally different ball game, and we're seeing it this season. Juve have no control in that midfield whatsoever. Tell me if I'm lying.
No, you're not. But and that's the reason why I have not said on this podcast that Juve was going to win the Champions
And
League.
that's the smartest thing you've said.
I know.
And if they win, we're gonna have a bottle of champagne and we're gonna celebrate.
It's already in the fridge.
And we're gonna celebrate with you. But
I said it like 3 months ago that they weren't going to win the Champions League.
No.
but now everyone's kind of
There's nothing convincing in that midfield.
there's nothing. And teams that win the Champions League, if we go back, barring that Chelsea fluke, those teams dominate the midfield. They control the midfield. We could go to Bayern with Schweinsteiger, Cruz, and Javi Martinez. We could go to Real Madrid with Modric and Xavi Alonso and Ozil wasn't there.
No, Cruz.
And Di Maria before that. We could go to Rakitic, Busquets, and Iniesta. We could go to the last Real
think
Madrid sides
Casemiro,
that have won.
Luka.
Casemiro, Luka, and
Tony.
Tony. Those sides dominate midfields. Sorry, Blaze. Sorry, Bentancur. Sorry, Emery Chan. Sorry, Pianic. It's not happening. Unless Ronaldo goes berserk.
You need offense.
Unless Ronaldo goes berserk. Mandzukic is a big game player, but this is a different big game.
Yep.
These are different lights. This ain't Napoli at Juventus Stadium.
No.
This ain't Roma at Juventus Stadium. This ain't Inter Milan at the San Siro or Milan. So I'm not banking on Mandzukic to be the savior here. Although he's done it. Mm-hmm. These are different lights. They're going to have to run up into a Barcelona. They're running into an Atletico. They may have to run into Madrid. They may have to run into Liverpool or City. Who's going to get the job done? And it can only be Cristiano.
No.
And he's going to be 34 next week.
Good for him.
Shout out to him. Shout out to the Aquariuses.
Yeah.
we got to be real here. And we're in February now. And we're looking at this, and there's been nothing from this Juventus side that makes me think that they're going to win the Champions League.
It doesn't help when you're in a league where you just no competition.
No, I don't buy that.
No, because if they're in that league and there's no competition, they should be killing those teams. But they're not killing them. They're squeaking by. They're getting some 80th minute penalties against some unknowns. Dad, who they get the 80th minute penalties against?
Lazio. It was just this week.
Lazio.
Spal.
Yeah, 86th minute.
Spal. Like, come on, man. They got to be killing these teams 3-0. They got to.
They rely on defense too, on their back line.
But you can't now.
You can't now because they're not there.
When they're held down.
Because you got no Bonucci for
a month?
and Chiellini is out for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's why.
So you're not going to play Atletico with Rugani.
If they're out for a month, you're missing at least one leg of that Champions League game.
Yeah. Bonucci's missing possibly both
They'll
legs.
try to get him in there, man.
Atletico is going to frustrate the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Atletico's gonna frustrate that. That is gonna be that's a very compelling tie now.
And we see this thing where the longer these games go, these players continue to get more and more frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who in that midfield is gonna take over a game like that?
Yeah.
I don't trust those guys.
Who's gonna
That's
step-
why I have nothing to say in this conversation because we said it months ago.
We called this shit months ago, and now it's all coming to fruition. Who's gonna stop Rodri? Who's gonna stop Thomas Partey? Who's gonna get into Saul and Koke? That is a top midfield. They're not elite, but they're right under there.
Yes.
And those guys, and Matuidi, and who's on his last legs, and Bentancur,
Bentancur.
who's very young, on Pianic, they need to be ready.
And Godin and Jimenez have shown that they can put Ronaldo in a bag.
Yeah. That's why I said from the very beginning when this came out, I said this is not an easy matchup for Juve. Okay? And I've said that from the beginning, and I'm going to stick with it.
I know.
But when you want to be,
we're just trying to bully you.
You're not going to.
but when you want to
That
be
was my
on that, but when you want to be on that level, it doesn't matter who's in your way.
You're right. You're absolutely
Juventus
you're
have put themselves in this situation now where you spent 100 million on
A 33-year-old.
who's one of the best players ever. So you've now put yourself into the position where these eyes are gonna be on you. There's no choice.
No excuses.
Zero. You can't. You're not be given a little bit of slack.
No.
You got to win.
You got the guy.
And
You got
and the thing is, everybody in that organization knows that they've put all their eggs into one basket.
Absolutely.
So
And I've said that
Heads
from
are
the
gonna
beginning.
roll. Heads are gonna roll if this doesn't work out.
they
Yes.
don't win, we've been over this, so I don't want to say it again. So we're gonna revisit it if they don't win.
Okay.
And if they win, we're gonna revisit it with your champagne, and we're gonna tell you that we could have been wrong.
That's fine.
But
I'll be the first one to admit it.
But I don't mind being wrong in February. It's a knockout competition, so things could change. Things could go their way. But what we're saying at this moment,
Things
or since August till now, they have not looked like a side that's going to win the Champions League. And it ain't like Madrid last season where they had ball controllers that could flip that switch.
No.
And Ronaldo was getting chance after chance after chance after chance to be the difference maker. He ain't getting the chances that he was getting at Real Madrid. He doesn't have the controllers that were at Real Madrid. Big culture change. And I'm not putting on him to adapt because we know what he's about. That's on them because they bought him for a reason. So they got them and Max got to find a reason. But at the end of the day, Max ain't going to be there next year. So
Especially not if they get bounced.
so I want to see how they're going to go about this. But it's going to be interesting. Mind you, they're fine because Napoli played terrible against Milan.
Yep.
And they got bounced out of Coppa Italia by Milan.
It's been a rough week.
So sucks to suck. Because
Yeah.
even when Juve's not playing bad and get results, Napoli bottles it. They weren't very good. Milan don't really have much to offer. Piatek played a bit, and then he played in the Coppa Italia game and killed
it.
Napoli. My thing with him is I don't know how much more. I know he got the 2 goals, but I don't know if he could elevate them further than probably slightly, but to a significant margin in comparison to Higuain.
He's like Milik, but the better version.
Yeah.
Milik 2.0.
I still question who's going to create the chances for him.
I like where they're headed.
Yep.
With him, with Paqueta, they finally have that third person in midfield. Before it was Belia, Jack, and Kessie.
Yep.
It was 3 players who were almost carbon copies of one another.
Yep.
There's no creativity. It's almost the Chelsea conundrum that they had.
Yep.
But now I think with the change of getting Lucas, they've added something. But now is Gattuso that guy to get?
Yeah. He's next to go.
He's not going to be the guy who's going to take them to the next level.
No.
Yes, they're adding pieces. I don't trust Romagnoli and
Musacchio.
no, those are not going to be defenders who are going to lead you to a Serie A title. That's not going to happen. Suso hangs on to the ball for far too long.
Suso gotta be the. I'm talking about worse. Never mind. I'm good.
He hangs on to the ball for way too long. Castillejo, these are just They're okay players.
Çalhanoğlu, no, they're not. They're under. They're like C players.
No, 'cause I classify like good, great,
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like okay players. You know what I mean?
They're gonna C.
Yeah. Okay to me is a C.
I'm giving them a C on their report card.
But they're not Milan caliber players.
No,
Yeah.
no. But you're
the-
talking about the old.
Europa League players.
Yeah, they are Europa League players.
To a
Say
certain
it.
extent.
If you buy Europa League players, you know what you get? You get the Europa League.
Hey, at this point, I think they would take it.
They're there.
They're building to. They gotta be. They're building in. I think they're trending in the right direction. But that all comes with what's the next step.
The next step, if they want, if they want to be
good
that
defensively.
old Milan team, I think.
They're never going to be that old.
No, I
Those
mean-
teams aren't constructed like that.
No,
now.
I meant in successful in the Champions League, fighting for titles. I think you have to first and foremost you got to look at the coach, and I don't think Gattuso's the guy that's going to bring Milan to that next level. And as Tyrrell said, I think he won't be there by the end of at the start of next year. I don't think he's the guy.
Inter sucked.
Yep, as per usual.
What's new?
Inter sucked this week. Roma got killed by Fiorentina 7-1. But don't worry in the Coppa Italia. But don't worry, they're still knocking Porto out of the Champions League. You heard it here first from me and Fabs.
I can't even really rebuttal that. Okay. I won't be surprised.
we're just saying it to say it.
I won't even be
My
surprised.
my sister will be so happy you said that.
I will not be surprised one bit.
Shout out to Laura.
The writing's on the wall.
And Laura, we need to hear from you about Tinder and Mumble. We should have said that to start. Bundesliga, Bayern won.
I'm still waiting on Dortmund to lose.
Dortmund won.
I'm still waiting on
You know
them to
what?
drop points.
I watched.
Tell Jimmy we ain't talk about Bundesliga. I'll play it. What do you say?
I watched Leipzig play on the weekend.
Yo, Dan, we're overtime.
Tell us more about Leipzig.
Dan, we're overtime. You're talking to us about Leipzig? No, playing.
Are we?
Dortmund?
No,
Or was that the game?
I don't.
that was the game before.
Did you enjoy it?
The young American guy played,
Oh, okay.
Tyler Adams.
Okay.
There's big talk about him. Actually, he played okay. And shout out to Alfonso Davies, for coming on. That was it's a big thing for Canadian soccer. So I
Can I
hope he
just
gets
say
to play a little bit more.
one thing about him?
Go ahead.
Don't turn him into Christian Pulisic.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, Canadians.
Don't let's as Canadian soccer fans, let's not do that.
Chill.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Christian
Because
Pulisic
that's
is
not what he needs to be.
extremely overrated.
He doesn't
Got
need
a
to be
big-
Captain America, Captain Canada. He's a good kid,
Nobody else.
but that's the
It's okay.
problem.
We don't need anyone else.
You don't need to put the weight of the kids. You're gonna expect him to do what in 2026?
He doesn't have to be great. He's gonna be great regardless.
But that's what they're doing to Christian.
That's what doing to Christian.
Now that he
That
got
hasn't
this big
panned
money
out.
move to Chelsea,
You don't even play.
NBC is gonna play all his games.
yeah.
This is what they're doing
With a
this year.
spotlight just on him.
Just let him develop. Let him play. Let him get his minutes, whether it's good or bad.
Yo, Christian's the biggest finesser. I've never seen anyone get a big money move like that, and he can't even get off the bench.
Yo, it's advertising.
He can't even get off the.
No, you guys remember Hugo Almeida, that free kick he scored against Inter?
Yeah.
That catapulted him to his entire rest of his career.
Yes.
'Cause he didn't do a goddamn thing after that.
Okay, fair.
So these moments happen, but this kid doesn't even play.
But,
Yeah.
but he doesn't even play.
Yeah.
Yo, but Americans still watch the Premier
yo,
League.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, that's the
what,
thing.
That's what Chelsea.
He's like the fourth best winger on that team.
That's
Yeah.
why. Yo, he
What would if Chelsea paid for
Pretty pissed, man.
What would if Chelsea paid for Jordan? 120?
Sancho's a man. I don't want to talk about them. Dortmund played well. Royce was key on that, and they killed off whoever they played.
I thought Hanover had a chance. There were
did. Yes,
still
so did I.
moments.
They did.
Much like Bayern, there was moments in that game where I wasn't 100% convinced. So that showed a lot to me that Dortmund was able to flick that switch and kill off the game when they did.
I liked Coleman this week for Bayern. I could see what they're doing with Goretzka and him playing a bit higher and breaking into the box a bit different. They did lose a bit of control in that game for a bit, and that's the big worry sign, especially with Liverpool approaching. They need Thiago, Martinez, Goretzka. They need to have control of that midfield because Bayern, like we've said, are susceptible to counterattacks. I like Sula a lot, but you cannot give that Liverpool side the amount of space they're giving these Bundesliga sides. So Thiago, Martinez, if they bring in James in, if they drop Goretzka a bit deeper, they need to take control of that midfield.
And I think it's finally good that they found an 11 to roll with.
Yeah.
Because Kovac has been struggling with that
Yeah.
all season of who to play.
And now he's got something. So I like where they're going. We'll leave it there because we're running for time and we got to save for the grand finale that Dan wants to get to. La Liga quickly.
Barca won.
Barca,
Everybody won.
Yeah, Barca struggles. I just want to put that out there quickly. Even though they killed Sevilla, we didn't have to watch that.
That was not a surprise.
Yeah.
My dad was trying to convince me that Sevilla had a great team and we're somehow going to see off that tie.
Yeah, don't get Messi upset, man. Like, what?
How'd that work
I
out?
think people should know better at this point.
Yeah,
like they make the semifinal of that competition every year.
Yeah, don't get Messi upset. Don't beat his side 2-0 when he's not playing. You just lose the first leg. Like, why do you got to do all that? Because then you got beat 6-1. All I gotta say is I don't think Busquets and Coutinho played that well against Girona. We gotta have to. Coutinho is having some bit of problems, which is why I guess which is why I think he took that penalty.
Yeah.
You gave him some confidence.
Yeah, I gave him some confidence. They won. I had a lot to say, man. I wrote down some notes. Saul scored his first league goal since 2017. We're so trash. No more stats.
I was going to say, you came out with the stats.
You're the stat guy now?
Yeah. Stat man tie.
Don't ever say that.
Benzema killed it. Big Benz is back. Big Bale is back. Pause.
Didn't you got something to say about Benzema? Or did you start a campaign?
Yeah, we're 2019, Big Benz Ballon d'Or campaign. We're already here. Benz is killing it, drifting out to the right, drifting out to the left.
If Luka could win it, so can Benzema.
If Luka could win it, so could Benz. There was one more thing I got upset about. Yeah, we got to spread that quickly.
Wait, where is it? Hang on.
You are fake news.
The one thing I got upset about this week, actually, I'll save it for next week because it'll be a big rant. PSG, Neymar's out. Metatarsal injury, is missing the 2 United legs. You guys changing your tune yet? I didn't say that my PSG were going to lose, but I'm just saying that this is going to be a tie.
I think it makes the tie more interesting. I think it definitely makes it a lot more, I don't want to say balanced, but it does shift a little bit of the, I don't know,
The tide?
Yeah, I guess you want to, yeah.
Phil Jones is having nightmares of Edison Cavani, okay?
Yeah, that's...
I'm leaving it at that.
The midfield ain't... PSG's midfield ain't better than United's. They're roughly the same.
Yeah.
Roughly.
But now PSG made that big signing.
Verratti's never sold me.
Is Verratti much better than Pogba, if that?
Yeah.
No.
They're like the same.
Yeah. Probably go to the clubs
They're both
together.
underachievers. Although Pogba's trying to glow up. My thing here, and I'm going to pose this question. Y'all don't got to answer it now. But this is the second consecutive year where PSG are going into a knockout round of 16 game without their best player.
It's funny because a note that I made that sort of goes off the back of that is, will one day Neymar look back and think that leaving Barcelona will be his biggest mistake?
Well, Dan and everyone else said that he's going to Madrid, so...
Because he had the world in his hands at Barcelona.
Well, I don't know if
I said that?
I don't know if you said that, but a lot of people think he's going to Real Madrid.
I don't think so.
Or back to Barca.
No, I don't think...
I think that's more feasible than going to Real Madrid. Because I don't think he cares way too much about what other people think to go to Madrid.
Yes.
He's not Figo.
Yeah, they may kill him over there.
They very well will.
No, but yeah, he may look back on that if he doesn't find a way to resurrect everything.
He might be the most talented player to make a wrong move at the wrong time in his career.
Yes.
When we look back at this,
yes,
in the grand scheme of things.
Could we revisit that next week?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I know what you want to talk about next.
Okay. Yo, yo, we don't even got
we need a song for that.
Yo, we need to get that trailer music next week, okay? Dan, this is your time. We're at 2:16. We might need to check the cameras to make sure it ain't dying yet, or that the memory's still there. But
yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
All I gotta say, I don't know about that, man. So last week we didn't talk about Gregory Vanderveel trying to give Greg Vanny the hands. We didn't talk about
Vanny's a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
Vanderveel would have smoked him.
Yeah.
He's got all those tattoos.
Yeah, Vanderveel would have smoked him.
Does he have one of those giant lions on his back like Depay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So Vanny's definitely smoking him.
yeah. The whole Vanderveel thing, I don't understand why they brought him in. I don't understand why they gave him what was he wearing? Number 13 or
Sure.
whatever, some stupid number.
Wasn't it 2?
I don't think he was wearing 2. He should have been wearing 2.
Or was 2 Moro?
2 tomorrow.
Yeah, he should have been wearing like 3.
Or was it 11? Whatever.
He
Who
was wearing some
cares?
stupid number.
He's not even around anymore.
Anyways, he's not around anymore. They said peace to him. Peace to Gregory Vanderveel. Nice knowing you. Then Victor Vasquez leaves. He's made out of ice. Or
That's why he went to Qatar?
Yeah.
'Cause it's nice and warm.
He's very brittle. So they got rid of him. And then the big news came. I told Dan, I sent Dan everything. He was like, no, I'm waiting for the official scoop. Dan got the official scoop.
He got the scoop before the scoop.
He got the scoop before the scoop, pause. And now it has been official. Sebastian Giovinco is going to Saudi Arabia. It just sounds funnier every time you say it. Is he going on vacation? Does he want to see the world? Why is he?
Hey, for 10 million a year, I want to go discover Saudi Arabia
Does he want to
myself.
see what that side of the world has to offer? Like, you ain't going there to play football. Shut up, Seba.
Congrats.
Anyways, Jovinko's gone. And are we going to break down what he said first, or do you guys want to say what you have to say about the move?
Let me say what I want to say first.
Okay, get it off your chest, because I feel like you've been keeping this in all day.
So one part of me is disappointed at TFC. Another part of me is disappointed in Giovinco, but I can understand why Giovinco did what he did. So I don't completely blame him. Yeah, the way he went about it might have been wrong. His agent might have gone about it wrong. But you know what? Giovinco said from the very beginning, he wanted to be at the club. He wanted to finish his career at the club. And he was transparent about that.
He's a loser.
Doesn't matter. You know what? The fact is that he was open. Exactly.
Cafe Diplomatico really is a nice place.
Yorkville was popping.
Yorkville was the
His condo view was great.
great. But regardless of all that, he was transparent and he wanted to stay at the club, and the club lowballed him, and that is the facts. You can.
What's low ball?
No, let him finish.
If I'm TFC, if he wanted the same contract that he had now, $7 million for 3 years, because he got $10 million in Saudi Arabia for 3. If you give him 7 for 3, you give him that. He's earned 7 for 3, and you take it and you give it to him. He is TFC's best player that they have ever had. I know he's on the decline. Yes. Has his stats been down from when he started? Yes. Is he still the best player in MLS? No. Yes. Yes, he is. He is still one of the he's still one of the best players in MLS.
Not the best.
He's one of the best.
Fabs, you wanna go, or you want me to go?
So you seem a little hype right now.
Go ahead, finish it off.
My only thing is you're gonna pay a 35-year-old $7 million. You're willing to pay a 35-year-old $7 million?
No way.
Yeah. He's your best.
So what
he's
does
your best player.
what does that tell everybody else on the team?
You're on a decline. You're gonna pay him $7 million on a
Yeah.
decline?
He has earned $7 million.
I'm not
He's
I'm not
earned
with the
$7
whole
million.
earning thing.
Yeah.
He's earned $7 million.
You agree to a contract at a certain point in your career, and you got paid for that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't earn anything extra. You don't deserve anything for what you did.
Of course you do.
I don't agree.
I think you gotta win multiple championships to be put on that category. I'm not gonna.
He willed them to that Champions League final on his own. Okay,
That's fine.
It was his. If Marky Delgado could hit a half volley, they win the Champions League.
That's fine. He had a great 12 months. I'm gonna give him that. He had a fantastic 12 months. One of the best individual 12 months that league has ever seen, and I'm not gonna take that away from him. I just think from a business standpoint, if they play it year by year, I'll be like, okay. Well, we'll give you $7 million 1 year. I don't know if they're allowed to do that.
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you can sign a 1 year contract.
But I would do that rather than locking him in for 3 years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And we don't get that from him. He's 32 now. I don't think how much money did he want?
7.
He wanted 7. I don't.
Well, okay, I don't want to say that he wanted 7 for a fact, but he
Yeah.
probably wanted the same as he was getting. Let's say 7.
Okay, he's saying 7. I don't think any other club in the world, respectable club, is giving him $7 million.
well, nobody did want to give him 7 because that's why he went to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But when he came here from Juventus, he wasn't going to get what he was getting anywhere else but here. So that argument is moot.
But even more of a reason why he shouldn't ask.
It doesn't matter.
But even
doesn't matter if time has passed.
But that's even more of a reason why he should give them a discount now because they gave him the contract when he was shit. He gave them a chance. TFC gave him a chance.
Yeah.
So why should he? So what do they owe him?
The player's never bigger than the club.
The way that they made it sound was that his agent, I'm not going to say him, but they gave him take it or leave it. So,
they did.
So it was like a ransom. It was like yo.
That's an awesome ransom.
It was
I
like
want those kinds.
it was like
Yeah.
it's like it's like I'm worth this much, and if you don't think I'm worth that much, I'll walk. And they walked.
Yeah.
They said no.
Yeah.
And I would too.
And from a business standpoint, I can't argue that because it could backfire. It is a big risk.
I'm sure it's the same conversation happened with Gregory.
And well, Gregory tried to give Greg the hands.
But I bet you it was way before that too.
My thing here is that I think that he won, and I think that TFC won. I think that he won because no one else is giving him $10 million.
You're 100% correct.
And I think that TFC won because I think that they got him off the books, and now they have to move forward. I don't think they could have invested 3 more years into him as one of the highest paid earners, if not the highest paid earner, because I don't know what we're going to get out of him. I know his numbers were great last season, but obviously there was a drop off from the MVP season.
Sure.
Huge.
But here's the other thing. Here's the part that irritates a lot of TFC fans.
And I didn't like how he carried him. I don't like how he carried himself last season. By the way, there's a lot of petulance.
Sure,
it wasn't my cup of tea.
Here's what irritates.
And they didn't make the playoffs.
No,
Fine.
Huge decline. And you want 7 mil?
Yes.
35? Please, I don't care about history. It's gone.
No,
Well, he's 32. He would have been.
he's
he would have
32.
been.
He's 32.
He would have been making 7 million at 35.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Hey, we keep the censorship here.
All right, guys.
Continue that.
Here's what pisses off irritates a lot of TFC fans.
Okay, I hate fans, so continue.
They don't have to sell. They didn't have to sell Giovinco now. They did not have to sell him now. Okay,
When would they have sold him?
They could have lost him in the summer, or they could have exercised his option. I know there's talks that both of them didn't exercise. It was a mutual option.
That would have pissed him off even more, don't you think?
Find a
No.
replacement.
That's my point.
You are not going to find a replacement now. The transfer window is closed. Okay? Who do you bring in for Sebastian Giovinco now? You bring in nobody. Nobody. That's the problem. Okay? That's the problem.
So who's KJ talking about? Sorry, we're name dropping him.
That's fine.
Who's he talking about?
I have no idea.
Should've took him for 1 year.
That's what I was. That's my point. Okay?
Fair enough, okay.
Who are they talking about that they're going to bring in the next few
I
weeks?
have no idea. But you better.
The young guy.
Well, so something that transfer window, whoever they're bringing in,
They must have signed. They have to have him sign. The transfer window closes today.
the European
so they
transfer
have to
window.
No, that's an international transfer
International
window.
transfer window?
Yeah. The only one is Saudi Arabia that's open until February 4th. I
Yeah,
learned.
shout out to them.
Okay, they stayed open
Yeah,
longer.
they're smart.
But a European one closes.
Okay.
So if you're finding anybody from Europe, you better have signed them today.
So why does it be from Europe?
Huh?
Why does it have to be from Europe?
Because I think I think the South American one closes today. Because I think that's an international transfer window.
You were never going to bring in the type of caliber player him again. You're not getting another Sebastian Giovinco at TFC ever again.
Yeah.
That's
will not happen.
That's fine. The fact is that if you decline, and because TFC didn't have to accept the transfer, he's under contract this year.
Yeah, and you're going to let him play pissed off?
Sure, I would rather have a pissed off Giovinco.
Oh, no.
But that's a fan perspective, though.
Yeah, that's
You can't.
That's not good for business.
You can't.
He's going to rile up all the other guys.
He was pissed off last season.
And look what he did.
Yeah.
And he was mediocre. Also.
So you're going to take him. You're going to take an abysmal
he scored
season.
He scored 15 goals and 15 assists last year.
I'm saying a
That's
team.
not-
I'm saying.
Osorio had a better year.
I'm saying as a team, you're going to take an abysmal season just to keep him on the bench, as just to be there.
He's not playing on the bench.
You got to move on. Cut ties, move on. Whatever the plan is, we got to roll with it.
But then that's even worse. If you knew,
I don't think so.
If you knew,
Because now he's not there. Now it's gone. The headache's gone.
You didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
He's not showing. He's not showing up to practice pissed. He's not pissing off other guys. Like that. That's over with. It's whatever it is. It happened.
But
It didn't go well.
You've now thrown away.
They weren't going to win the CONCACAF Champions League. That wasn't going to happen.
I maybe they did, maybe they don't. But with Giovinco in there, you have a chance with a better chance with Sebastian in there than without. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
Yeah, but
if
not
you
a pissed
know,
off Sebastian.
If you know that you're gonna lose him, you need to be prepared.
But I don't think they knew. This apparently must have all happened very quickly.
But if you're negotiating and
He thought he was going to get the money that he wanted.
but
Which
don't
was what, 10 mil?
no 7.
They didn't want to give him 7 mil.
That's what I'm saying.
They must have had hope. They must have had hope
I'm pretty sure they
because
would have taken 7 because he went away for 10.
They didn't offer Seba 7. They offered Seba 5.
So you would have taken 7
Yes.
and avoided the 3
That's
million
that's right.
extra
Yes.
to going to
Yes.
Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
But they said no.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta see it's a little bit of compromise from both sides, right?
Look, I'm gonna read what he said quickly because we don't got much time.
Go.
We've been here for a while.
Fans are important though. We have to remember. Dan's right, yo. Fans are important.
I don't care
As
about.
much as I don't care about them,
I don't care about-
They pay the
San-
tickets to watch
Fa-
the
fa-
game.
fa-
fans would run every single business into the ground.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
But they
they-
pay the
but they
tickets
don't
to
they
go
don't
to the
they
game.
they
What if don't
but
show up?
but
Because Gio's not
oh
there?
They weren't showing up
showed
for a long
before.
time.
Huh?
They didn't show up before.
They weren't showing up for a long time. That didn't change
And
anything.
then Giovinco came and they showed up.
Okay,
Which-
They-
which-
So now he's gone.
they'll get
Now
over.
you'll see what's
They'll
gonna happen.
get over it. They'll
Will
get
they?
over it. I think they'll get over it.
Bring Ibriati back.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose money, man.
They'll get over
Go
it.
read his tweet. Read his Instagram or whatever.
Okay, well, number one, he didn't write this because his English ain't that great. I don't even think he could speak. I don't think he could speak. It'll take him a day to speak this.
Go ahead.
Toronto has been home to me and my family for almost 5 years. I arrived here from Italy in January 2015 and immediately felt something special. From day one, I worked hard to repay the opportunity that Toronto had given me. He's right. From that first year, I realized that we could do great things here. He's lying. Through hard work, passion, and determination, my teammates and I transformed TFC and made it one of the best clubs in MLS and in North America. Yeah, I guess. We didn't do this alone. Okay. Without our great fans, this would not have been possible. I commonly say that significantly contributed in making unprecedented history at TFC.
Yes.
He doesn't even know what unprecedented means. we wrote a new chapter in the club's history together, all for one. This journey has been a wonderful experience for my family and I, not me. It's without hesitation that I can say that I wanted it to end differently. If he wanted it to end differently, it would have ended differently, Dan.
Go ahead. Keep reading.
As I've always maintained, I was hoping to renew my contract and finish my playing career in a city that feels like home. Doesn't Turin feel like home?
No.
I'm just asking questions that need to be answered.
No.
It is here where my daughter was born and where
That's
my
right.
son took his first steps on a football pitch. I don't know that you have kids. A place my family loves to live and wanted to call home for good. Unfortunately, this desire of ours has clashed with a change in direction with current TFC management. I don't know how I feel about him calling them out on social media.
Call him out.
That's a female thing to do.
Call him out.
And he did it directly. That's a female thing to do. He called them out directly.
Maybe his
on
wife,
social media.
Maybe his wife wrote it.
Maybe. Could she speak English?
Yes. Very well.
For the 2 years, I have been seeking to extend my contract. However, management was reluctant. Recently, after refusing to exercise the club option for 2020, I was offered terms that I deemed unacceptable. He deemed it unacceptable. Why is it unacceptable?
Because they were lower than what he wanted.
Okay. They may say I left for a more lucrative deal, but this is not the case. You don't even lucrative? Their offer and lack of transparency is a clear message. It seems management prefers to focus on things other than the pure desire to win. Yes, they do. Winning is important, but when it's not good for business, then sometimes you have to take a back seat and go the other route. Rebuild the right way. So yes, investing for a 35-year-old is a big gamble. Yeah, sometimes you have to go that route. Sorry, Saba. After having grown the brand and elevating the overall reputation of TFC both at home and abroad, it seems I no longer serve a purpose. Why is he being emotional? I would have accepted less to stay in Toronto. No, you would have not.
That's why you
He
didn't
said
stay.
he would have accepted less.
To stay in Toronto. No, he would have not.
Yeah, he said he would have accepted 5 instead of 7. Right?
Therefore, I reluctantly announce that my tenure as a TFC player has come to an end. I will now focus my attention and efforts towards another challenge. What challenge is he getting in Saudi Arabia? With me, I bring beautiful memories. Toronto, the 6, you are and will always remain in my heart. Shut up. Thank you for everything you have taught me about myself and about life. I love you, Toronto. I think he's great. I think if the best option for TFC would go the 1-year route. I agree with you that, yes, if the transfer window is closed and they can't bring in a player, which I think they are working to bring in a player, so we don't know about that.
Can't
But
replace Gio.
but getting him, they knew that they were never going to replace him, and it was never guaranteed that we're going to win trophies. They won a trophy, they had a great season, but they never knew that they were going to replace him. I agree with you that they probably should have a plan. We don't know if they have a plan, but I cannot have him go up there and say all that when they offered him something. And I feel like if you really wanted to stay, then that money wouldn't have been a big deal. Because I'm pretty sure, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't offer him peanuts. And that's kind of my gripe. You can't go up there and say that. And I don't even like him that he went public. But you can't go there and say that and then do that.
At the end of the day, he's still trying to. He's a working man. He's trying to maximize his profit. So he's gonna get double somewhere else. He's gonna go somewhere else. If any of us were offered double to go do what we do somewhere else, we're gonna go.
That's why I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him at all.
I don't blame him either.
No, I think it's the way that it transpired. I think didn't go the way either side wanted it to.
Yes.
I don't think he wanted to. As much as, he left for the money, I don't think he ultimately didn't want to leave because I don't think he wants his lasting impression in a football career to be out in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And I don't think TFC didn't want him to leave because you're losing a player who still has some talent in him. But do I think you can pay, at the end of the contract, a 35-year-old Seba $7 million for what he did for you? I don't think that's right. I don't think he earns that ability to make that extra money because when you earn shit, TFC gave you a chance. So there has to be a little bit of on both sides. And the last thing is, this isn't very shocking to me. If this happened last season, coming off of the championship, then I'm like, holy shit, these guys really dropped the ball.
Right.
But they're coming off the back of Atlanta won a championship without a Giovinco.
Yeah, but they
had a Martinez
and Almiron.
That's my point. But that's my point. You can find options otherwise. But other way, they didn't win. You didn't win because of Giovinco. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are options.
There are other
you just
ways
have
to go
find
about
them.
But my point was, and I said this, Newcastle just paid whatever 25 million for Almiron, and then I'm not talking about the transfer fee, but Atlanta brought in Martinez. It is Martinez. Who is it from River?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But they have a replacement ready for Almiron, and I think if TFC don't have and there's talks that they do, and I'll hold my judgment until I see and hear who they bring in for Juve. And I don't think it's fair to judge whoever comes in to see if he's a replacement or if he can do better than Giovinco. Because I don't think, like you said, Fab, I don't think there ever will be someone that will do or will be equal to Giovinco or better than Giovinco.
Not unless Mesut comes.
Yeah. But you need to have somebody ready. You need to have somebody in place. And like I said, I'll wait to see if TFC do have somebody in place. Because if they don't, and they're waiting until the summer to bring that guy in, that season may truly already be over by the summer.
But I just feel like it was sudden. So, that's one thing that I have to put in perspective about that. I think it was very sudden. Whereas opposed to Atlanta, they kind of had that planned. But we could get into this next week. I just feel like that is kind of how things go. It's like, the TFC doesn't end with Giovinco. They have to move forward, and I just think that the amount of money that he wanted just didn't make sense on a 3-year deal. He obviously wanted the best deal for him, but in the grand scheme of things, that isn't what's best for the club, and the club comes first.
Yes.
And in this sport, we see it in Europe as well. Those big players, they're not getting big contracts at 30, 31, 32, no matter what they did. Look what happened to at Wayne Rooney and look
Right.
what Wayne Rooney did for Manchester United. That's just one example off the top of my head.
Yes.
We could go back to many players. So that's why I can't feel bad for him. But the bigger thing here is now Vasquez and Giovinco are gone. What the hell is Jonathan Nazario going to do?
Oh, he better hope and pray they find somebody.
We're
Time to step up.
We're going to get into that next week.
Yep.
But with that being said, are we done here? Because
We're
I
done.
told you guys 3 hours. We got close to it.
We're done.
We're done. With that being said, this was the Interviews Podcast, episode 55. We went very long, but we had a lot of things to talk about. Almost 2 weeks worth of footy, but we got soccer/footy. We got it done. Organic, unfiltered soccer/footy analysis. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/the interviews. We upload videos every day. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the interviews. Like and follow and like. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, twitter.com/the interviews TV. And Instagram, the handle is the interviews TV. You can find us, our podcast on YouTube as well a few days later, and you can find it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, any of you that have Apple device, you can find on iTunes. And if you have an Android, whatever Android apps you use, this is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world and Toronto. Remember that. Nothing's changing. We're here on Monday. We're going to break down everything that happened on the weekend. But for now, it is your guy Tyrrell.
It's Fab.
Stan.
It is also Hugo, and we're out.